Yo, okay, we back now. Now that we back, y'all, I fucking forgot how to go get them. Fuck. Damn, man. Hold on, guys. We trying to bring it back. Trying to bring it back. I don't even know how to go get them. Fuck. I hope they paying attention, man, because I don't know how to go back and get them. My bad, guys. Accident happened. And now I don't know how to go get them. Hold on. Let me share the link. Hold on, guys. Be patient. Be fucking patient. Damn, man. Salute, Nito. My bad, y'all. I'm trying to get the panelists back over here. Oh, I messed that up. Oh, I hate that we messed this up. Well, not we. I did. Hold on. We'll get it back. Hopefully, they'll come back over, man. Because I don't even know how to get back to that stream, y'all. I think I exit this shit. Man, hold on. Ah. Oh. Oh. Oh, hey, okay. Hey, y'all over here. Hey, y'all over here. Hey, family. My bad. I started a new one. I don't know how to share the link over here, so just come to the YouTube page and get the link. Y'all hear me? Stanley. Nobody can hear you over here, Stanley. Will y'all please go to my YouTube channel, click the StreamYard link, and come over to the new live stream, guys. Oh, okay. I see Robbie over here. I see everybody's coming, Stanley. Just come on, Stanley. Come on, brother. Get out of here, Stanley. Exit out of here, brother. Go to my YouTube channel. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Gosh, oh gosh. Here we go, y'all. There you go. I'm happy you said whoops. Blame it on Lady D. She hit the wrong button and just ended everything. But all right, here we go. It was better that we ended that anyway, because now we got a great topic. How do men deal with trauma? Now we got a beautiful topic. What's going on, Nito? How you
What up,
doing,
man?
brother? I didn't even realize you hit that link. What's going on, brother?
Chilling, man. Yeah, we do got a good topic, man. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like
Cause
it.
my wife, cause my wife said she wanna chime in on this one too.
Go ahead. You got the floor, Queen. First, hold on. First and foremost, let me be respectful. Salute to you, Queen. How you doing and
Salute,
how's your family?
salute, salute. How are you?
I'm well, sis. I'm well, sis. But yeah, man, I mean, what how do I don't know. You talk to me. Talk to me. Tell me whatever you gotta say, sis. Talk to me about men and trauma.
I feel like men probably. I don't feel like men deal with trauma the way women do. Just because most men are not emotional creatures, it's not in their nature. To be emotional, to show their feelings, to even be able to express their feelings. It's just not the same. So as a black woman, I feel like when we meet black men, it's part of our job to nurture them in, to let them know that, it's going to be okay. I got your back. I'm going to support you. I'm going to push you. Black men really don't get that support. And I'm not trying to knock black women. I just know the black women that I deal with on the day to day. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of support, for the black man. It's always, he ain't this, he ain't that. Why they not doing this? Why they not doing that? And my question to the women is, what are you not doing? We quick to knock them. We quick to, to tear them down, but we're not quick to push them. I don't know. This is just a great topic. I'm really excited to hear what the men have to
Those are
say tonight.
beautiful words, sis. I'm happy to meet such an elegant young lady, or however old you are. I don't know, but you sound quite young. But yeah, nice to meet you.
You too, you too. I'm just interested to hear how, how men do deal with trauma, especially our black men today. Because it's hard as a black woman to even like support the black man because we just don't know how to.
Can I
You
be?
get where I'm
Can I
coming
be
from?
honest, sis? Can I be
Yeah,
honest, sis?
go
No
ahead.
woman can't support me in dealing with trauma. That's why I got my guys. That's why I got my daddy. And if you ain't got your daddy around and you ain't got no guys around you that can support you, then maybe that's what the main issue is. That you're having to be reliant upon people who are never really going to understand you. Because you're a woman. I'm not going to lie. I'll never understand you. I'll be able to
Right.
hear you. I'll
Mm-hmm.
hear you, you feel me, and I'll listen to you and I'll try to reason with you. But I'll never really understand you because I don't have those, I don't share those same emotions. I deal with things differently. And, once I can work things out and deal with things a particular way, as guys do, I can move on.
But what I'm saying is like it's hard for our black men to even express themselves to other black men.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I disagree, sis. I disagree. I think maybe um, what it is this year that you're not supposed to be privy to that conversation, really. That's supposed to be a conversation between me and my boy, and we in private, and we talking privately now. And he's going through some stuff. He's telling me some trauma. He's telling me some crazy stuff that he's going through, and he might even be doing some crazy stuff at the time. And now I'm talking him down and like, brother, like certain things you're doing ain't right, and certain things that's happening to you ain't right. But what we have to
Mm-hmm.
work out is the balance, my brother. So you have to work out what's not right that's being done to you, but you also have to deal with yourself first. Deal with any emotions that you've got attached to what's going on, because man don't work on emotions, man work on logic. Yeah, man work on common sense, logic, and informative information. Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
don't deal with this. We don't deal with things the same way. So for the man them that's learned from the women, that's why they having these problems. You don't notice they say that most men that grew up in single parent families are going to end up in jail or on some type of drugs or having problems.
So
And where do you
damn
think them problems are stemming
what
from?
the fuck you talking
I'm gonna go
about?
on mute. I'm gonna go on mute because there's no respect in this room, sis, other than from you. So I'm gonna go on mute.
Yeah, yes, it is. But come on, Shiffer, don't be like that. Shit, it is respect. But we black men and we gonna be passionate. So if I say shut the fuck up, Shiffer, you don't know what you're talking about. That's just how we talk, Shiffer. Don't come on, brother.
No, but Born Rich, do you know what it is,
Okay,
Born? Born, I'll tell you what it
can
is,
I
Born,
interject?
yeah? People can talk to me that way, yeah? But if I start talking to people like that back, what you're gonna do, you're gonna put me in the side chat, you're gonna mute me, you're gonna do all sorts of things that is unfair. So I'm gonna just shut up from
No,
now.
I wouldn't do that, Shiffer. Only time I would do that is when you don't let people finish their sentence. Now I know
It's
Brother Mike
happened to
just
me
cut you
already
out.
today,
But
Born
listen,
Rich.
Shiffer, I'm gonna tell you, Shiffer, Brother Mike just cut you off, right? That's one time. Now, Brother Mike cut you off the next 5 times you go to say something, I will put Brother Mike in backstage. You see what I'm saying? Long as the conversation is flowing, I know we're passionate. So if somebody says something, we're gonna blurt out. Oh, Schiffer,
No,
that's
it's
some
not just
bullshit.
Brother Mike though, brother. It's not just Brother Mike. Yeah. And you need to control certain of your panel members that, are abusing their powers, bro. Because otherwise I'm just gonna shut up, bro. And we can have a real good conversation. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Man, this nigga just sit there and said that single mothers, men that's raised by single mothers end up in jail. Nigga, I ain't never been to jail a day in my motherfucking life. The fuck is you talking about?
That's a
I
blanket
never said
statement.
all, brother. I said most. I said most. Do the statistics. Look it up yourself.
What do the statistics say? Is this in Great Britain or the United States?
I never said all, brother.
Stanley, you got background noise. I had to mute you, brother. Get your background noise sorted out. Cut the YouTube off, Stanley. But go ahead, Schiffer. Go ahead, guys.
Look, brother, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you.
And
I've made my
African
go on,
government.
Stanley, I had to mute you again, Stanley. Let's let Schiffer land, bro. He's been trying to land for the last 2 minutes, Stanley. You have to let him. Stanley, you gotta fix your YouTube anyway, brother. Go ahead, Schiffer.
Yeah, I've made my opinion known. I've let you know there are statistics out there to confirm it and back it up. If you don't like it, lump it. But what I'm going to say to you is
I've
ultimately
been on
men
mute.
need their
I
fathers.
haven't
Men need their
talked.
fathers because their fathers are men. So their fathers are going to know what a man goes through and how to deal with man's situations. A woman can only know from a woman's perspective.
How many kids you got, Schiffer?
I got 4. One on the way. 3 and 1 on the way.
The blue boys.
I'm
2 boys and 1
seriously
girl.
on mute.
I'm about to have another boy, so that'll make it 3 boys.
Okay, man. So you preaching to the choir.
Okay, well, I don't understand. I don't understand your point.
I didn't understand that, Mike. What do you mean when you say you preaching to the choir?
He talking about young boys need their daddies, men, and all that shit. I know all that shit, man. All this shit.
Well, then why you arguing?
I was talking about before we got on live, man. I was fucking with him about something, and he took it personal. That's all.
No, I didn't, bro. No, bro. Listen, I swear to you, bro, respectfully, like as a man to another man, respectfully, I wasn't taking it personal. It's just that was the conversation when I jumped on. So I was just dealing with the conversation that I was existing.
Okay, like it seemed like you come off like you really anti-woman. If any nigga got something to say about uplifting a woman, you like to flip it and try to make the dude seem like he's weak or something.
Hey, real quick, Mike.
I can come across anyway, bro.
I mean, not Stanley, Schiffer and Mike, please, guys, please. Stanley, you have a horrible background noise, brother.
The TV up loud or something.
You have your YouTube playing, Stanley. Stanley, you have to sort it out, brother. I can hear myself. I don't want to hear myself.
Yeah, he got to turn one of his devices all the way down.
Yeah, Stanley. So I'm gonna mute you again, Stanley, because you have something going on that I hear myself, Stanley. I hear the whole conversation.
Understand, my fault.
Yeah, just sort it out, brother. Sort it out. I'm gonna put you on mute while you sort that out. But yeah, it's horrible for the audience right now, Stanley.
Well, no,
you know what that is? That's like when you call up to a radio station, you win a prize, they tell you to turn your radio down.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Stanley. So please sort that out, Stanley. I'm sorry, Chef. If you remember your thought, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I was just saying that when I jumped on here, there was a very elegant sister speaking, and she spoke on the subject. So I gave my opinion. It wasn't to attack Brother Mike or anyone. I know me and Brother Mike previously, before this stream was started, we were going back and forth, and it may have seemed a certain way. So I just want to clarify that to Brother Mike. And I also want to say, Brother Mike, I've got all the respect in the world for you, for all the women in the world, for all the men in the world. But if I'm faced with disrespect, then unfortunately, I'm going to fight fire with fire, because that's how I was raised. Yeah. Now, I'll also say, you know what? You may not know this, but we was raised in a similar kind of home, because my dad weren't around like that. I had to get to know my dad separately from, my mom and my household. I had to go find that Negro myself and get him to show me certain things and get him to re-educate me in certain things. And without me doing that, I wouldn't be able to deal with certain people and their behaviors in this day and age, and certain issues that is facing the black man. Because I won't be learning it from a man, I'd be learning it from a woman who's obviously only learning from a woman's perspective. She's going to confuse me, my brother. And I know that.
Let me explain something to you about me not reaching out to learn shit from my dad, because he taught me how not to live. So I just do the total opposite of him. I'm there for my kids like he wasn't there for me, like my mama was there for me. That don't mean that she didn't teach me how to live, man. My mama was a strong woman, and I'm not saying strong like they say in strong. I'm talking about like she'll hit you in your fucking mouth if you get out of line. You see what I'm saying? So,
my brother, I totally respect that. I totally respect you, brother.
I grew up in the projects, though. I didn't grow up in no regular.
I grew up in the project too. And guess what, brother? Yeah, this is one thing I learned not to do from my dad. Yeah, I learned not to be the type of person that's not going to put in 189%, if not 1000%, if I can. Yeah. So hence, I've just arrived home from work. I just had a bath. I brushed my teeth. Yeah. Guess what I'm doing right now? I'm going back to work, because my kids will not go without. My family will be fed. My woman ain't got to stress her back. Yeah. Now, at the end of the day, we have to. I didn't learn that from my mom or from my dad. I learned that from myself. But by looking at both of them and understanding there's a difference between a woman and a man. My mom can't do the things that I can do, brother. Yeah. It's quite simple, plain and simple. I'm gonna put it on mute.
I'm not trying to put a woman in a man's place, but what I'm telling you, a woman has her place in a man's life. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Your mom.
That's what I'm saying.
That
All of
nurturing.
that, bro. It ain't. She
That's
not.
exactly what I'm
That's right.
I'm
That's
gonna be
right.
a man regardless because I'm a man.
That's right.
It's in me to be a man. But what I'm telling you, man,
That's
it's
right.
things that you learn from your mother that carries on through life, man.
Yeah, but if you only caught the tail end of the conversation. What I was saying to the sister is when a man's going through certain things and going through certain depression and going through certain issues in his life, it's not a woman that he needs to speak to, it's other men. We need to counsel each other and we need to understand what it's like being a man and how to deal with man issues more than we need a woman to come and tell us from their perspective and try to mollycoddle us. We don't need that, bro. We don't need all their emotions and feelings to drag us down, bro. We just don't need it, bro. I'm being honest.
That is right though, but
So
you gotta
I've got
find the right. You gotta be able to
I got a
find the
quick
right
statement
man.
to make. Brother Nate, I got a quick statement to make. So I'm hearing this: men should be addressing men, and men need to handle men, and they need to allow all the emotions. But what I take good, what I give myself good thing for is watching and observing. And I noticed yesterday, this guy was up there getting addressed by men, only men. And he was in a whole load of emotional, acting really erratic, shouting, screaming, doing the most, telling people that he's going to come and do them things. He wants a boxing match, all of that. Is this how men deal with men? I'm just wondering, asking for a friend. I don't know.
I will say this though. I've always said, and I ain't gonna lie, I'll tell you where I got this from. I heard this from Kevin Samuels, Lady D, and it's so true. When you deal with male and men interaction, it's always a low level threat of violence. I ain't gonna lie. It's always, listen, if I can't get this man to do what I want him to do, then violence is always an option. And that's an option that we don't really have with women. But with men, I do. Me and Mike could call me all type of bitches and hoes on this stream today. But Mike know the next time we see each other, we're gonna have to go to violence. You see what I'm saying? Like it's always that low level threat of violence when it is men. Now, I'm not saying all men should deal with other men like that 24 hours, but come on, Lady D. How many times you been on this panel and heard some brothers on this very panel say, "I shoot you," or "I'll fight you," or "I'll beat you up"? You see what I'm saying, Lady D? Like it's always a low level threat of violence when it comes to male interaction. I hate to say
Can I
it.
clarify? Can I clarify, Born
That's
Rich
what I
here?
said. You gotta
I
find the
asked.
right
I
man,
said to
find the
no. Hold on
right
one
man.
second, guys. One second, guys. Let me clarify. Yeah, a brother said to me, "Do I support charity?" I said, "Yeah, I do."
GLJ is
One second, bro. One second, bro. One second, bro. A brother said to me, "Do I support charity?" I said, "Yeah, I do support charity." And I said to him, "Why don't me and you have a charity boxing match so we can raise some more charity money and give some more donations?" You know, and get other people to give donations. So no one was making any threat of violence to anyone. A charity boxing match is going to help people. I'm gonna go back on mute.
And that's how
See,
that
that's
was
what
actually to your question, Lady D. Go ahead, Nito. Sorry about that, brother. Go
Hey,
ahead.
boy, that's why I was saying you when a man has going through something and he wants to speak to another man, he gotta also know the right man to go to and be able to speak to that man with his problem because you know how us guys do. Oh man, you know how women are, or come on, man, you acting like a pussy, man. You know what you need to do, and you
Yeah,
get them short answer questions, and
yeah.
if they really don't scratch the surface. So when
Now
you go
that's
to
not a
another
real man,
man,
bro. That's not a real
that's what
man,
that.
bro.
But that's what
A
I'm
real man
saying.
would never do that, bro. A real
That's what
listen,
I'm
that's a boy.
saying.
That's a boy's mentality. When you're
But
What
young,
I've been
maybe.
trying to say
listen.
from Jump Street when the panel
But
first
oh my God,
started, so there would be peace, is
see, he want to
understand when
talk and get his.
everyone's
You
speaking,
know,
they're
we go on mute
speaking
because I'm
from their
about to have to be
perspective.
a fool.
All right, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's try to deal with this like men.
Yeah, but see, he
Sorry,
wants
brother. Sorry, brother.
everybody to hear his point of view. But as soon as somebody else is speaking, he want to jump in.
That's
I'm
always the
So,
sorry, brother.
case. That's always
Continue.
the
so,
Continue.
so,
case.
Sorry, bro.
so
Robbie, that
then,
was
I
actually
apologize. Sorry, bro.
Nito, I think you get it mixed up. It was actually Robbie who jumped in because Robbie wanted to say something. But real quick,
no,
guys. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, but let me say something real quick, guys, because we got new panelists. Let's just make sure. Unpopular, is that you, my brother?
Yes, sir.
My guy, Steve, is that you, Steve?
it is.
Steve,
All
can
right,
we
I
get God a
just want to
Jake?
make sure. Just want to make sure we don't get porn bomb, man. You know how
No,
we
man, you're good. You're good. I
don't
get
do
you.
that. But all right, go ahead, brother. Because like I said, I think we're on to something here, man. I don't think men sometimes we don't know how to deal with trauma. And Schiffer said, okay, one of his suggestions is men should only deal with men, only men. That sound gay. Pause. But men should only talk to other
That's
men
such
when it.
stupidity.
Hold on, Stanley. Men should only talk to other men when it comes to speaking about trauma and shit that they're going through. Now, my thing about speaking to other men is like the other brother was saying though, Schiffer. Like I'm about tough love. So when you come to me telling me, yeah, man, I'm going through this with my girl, or I'm going through this at work, I hate to say it, but in so many words, I'm gonna tell you, nigga, man up. I hate to say it, shit,
Exactly.
and I can't.
Exactly.
I'm saying, eventually, I'm just gonna say that. So, is that healthy? Then we gotta ask, is that healthy, Schiffer, for me to
Yes,
just?
yes, that's 100% healthy, bro. That is 1 billion% healthy, bro.
How is
Anybody
that
else?
healthy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
How
tell
is
you
that
why,
Please
sis.
don't
healthy?
waste your time,
I'm gonna tell
sis.
you why, sis. I'm gonna tell you why, sis. Yeah, and she
Can
don't
I
listen
tune
to
in
Lady
when y'all are
Divine.
done?
Lady Divine just a hater, sis. I'll tell you the reason it's healthy, yeah, is because that's how men learn. Men only learn from tough love. They don't learn from being mollycoddled. They don't learn from being babied and cuddled. They don't learn
So
from
a
you
man,
telling
if
them it's gonna
women,
be.
I
Hold on, sis.
will,
1 second, sis. 1 second, sis. They don't learn from you telling them, "Oh, it's gonna be all
Lady
right.
D,
Don't worry about it." Men don't learn from that. What they'll do is they'll make the same
a
mistake
fake
again. So if you
bear.
want your man to keep making the same mistakes, then continue to treat them in that way. If you don't want us to make the same mistakes, send him to his homeboy that's like Schiffer, that's like Bournemouth, that's going to tell him,
Born
man up,
rich.
son. Man up, homie.
I wouldn't even send a dog to you, to be fair, but that's my
exactly.
I
If
opinion.
Okay.
will
You're
take.
born rich. Born rich. Are you
Hey,
going
are
to
you
deal with your
done,
woman?
Schiffer?
Because if she's going to keep making sly attacks,
Stop!
bro,
Don't
you
put
know
that
where
on
it's
me.
going to
Don't
go,
put that
bro.
on
Are
me.
you done, Schiffer,
Stop.
for a
She's
minute?
gonna. Don't put that on
if
me, Schiffer, man. Don't please, bro.
if
All
a
right, tell
man
this
Please.
is
thing, pussy
I'll
doing
cat, stop
good,
moderate.
attacking me.
I'll
Hey,
moderate, Schiffer. I'll
Born
moderate.
Rich,
I'm
that's what I
gonna
was
let her
going to
get
ask
through
you.
that. Go ahead, Robbie.
Can you address
May I
people
say
so that way we
something?
speak one on one?
I will
Yes,
take
yes.
Lady
I
D
got
side. Period.
you.
Not.
Girl,
She's
all your
a
pussy
black
done
woman.
right.
I would
Pussy smell
marry in a
fishy, pussy smell
heartbeat.
like shite.
Oh dear.
Yeah. All right. Come on, guys. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. So
She
Schiffer.
is our black goddess.
Okay, Stanley. Hold on, Stanley.
No, you're black goddess.
Oh,
You're black
absolutely.
goddess.
She is the black God.
Okay.
The black woman is God. God. All
No, she
right.
isn't. Not to me,
Let me
she
let
ain't.
me
No,
But to you
she's
guys.
Man,
all right,
funny.
y'all
let me
been
Do
let
you
talking
me
so
see how the
long, I done
power of
lost
the
my point.
divine works? Do you
Let's
see?
see
Do you see
how
how
exactly
the
it works? I
future
guys.
say
can
one
be
Guys.
word
for
and
us.
he's triggered. I'm just so
Oh,
powerful like
guys.
this, bitch.
All right, come on, guys. Let's bring
I
it
Oh,
back.
love this
wait,
shit, man.
hold
You
up.
know I love this
Let's bring
shit.
it back. Hold on,
Skipper
stop.
thinks
Stanley.
I'm wrong.
Stanley, come on. Hey, family, this is another thing, family. When y'all hear me talking, like, please just hit the mute button or just
Got it.
just stop. Like, come on, y'all can't bulldoze over me talking. But Schiffer gave his thing, right? Because the question is, how do men deal with trauma? It's a broad blanket question, but I guess I would ask Robbie. Robbie, in your personal experience, how do you deal with trauma, or how do you help other men in your homies, your friends, your family? How do you help other men deal with trauma? Talk to
Well,
me.
see, the first thing I want to do is unpack two words. One is trauma and
Mhm.
one is men. Now, when it comes to the subject of trauma, are we going to define trauma as physical trauma, psychological trauma, or both? See,
Oh,
somebody who's dealt with both, their level of trauma and the need for counseling may be way different than the advice of somebody just dealing with psychological trauma versus physical trauma. Number two, when it comes to men, it's interesting how we brought up the thing about conflict resolution and respect because I'm dealing with that culture clash right now. That's one of the advantages that you have by being in an interracial experience. You see how other cultures of men solve problems, right? Or deal with issues. And you know what? There's been times with me being a black man from Atlanta, I'm just like you brothers. When some people cross certain lines of disrespect, I'm like, if you don't like me, then I don't need you. I don't like you. We don't have to see each other. But there's other cultures where somebody will talk real reckless and greasy, almost to the point where they're acting like they want to throw blows. And the next day they act like nothing happened. They don't apologize. They truck it off as I was just drinking. And guess what? That's why me and some of them individuals still have problems because I'm still thinking like an Atlanta person, like, you know what, man, I don't trust you. You crossed the line with certain things that you said, but in your mind and in your culture, they can get down like that. They can be very disrespectful to the point where they cross the line and it's kind of more passive aggressive. And I think Sometimes there's economic components to that, and it's also a cultural thing. Those are the things I wanted to basically say first off. And then secondly, when
I
it
hope
comes
you're
to
learning, Lady D. That
when it
passive
comes
aggressive
to
shit
the
needs to stop.
The black woman's God, as we can tell. Carry on, brother.
I'm gonna let him talk, man. I hope I said something.
No, you did, bro. You pointed
Yeah, I
out
got
that
what you
some
were
people
saying.
can be very disrespectful and then want to smile in your face the very next day. And it is very passive aggressive and it is a very feminine trait. And what you'll find is, especially when you deal with the Caucasian men, they're very feminine, you know? And when you hear this energy from Lady D, they'll display this very
Okay.
same energy.
Now on that note,
I
I need you to
guarantee you.
stop because that was the key thing that I was trying to say earlier when you were kind of going on your rants. We need to clearly understand humbly that our experience as men and what we view as manhood are our own unique experiences. There may be some things that we cross connect because somebody might say on that regard, okay, white men are feminine, but right now they run the world. So how could we allow somebody feminine boss us out? Because it was going to go to my next point. You can
Brother
either
Robbie,
be ruled
before
by
you
your
go to your next
instinct.
point,
Hold up, hold up,
Robbie,
hold up. You could be ruled by your instincts, or you can use conscious thinking. And that comes through experimentation. A lot of times we don't have the luxury as young men, especially because of our economic standpoint. We can't afford to have too many,
The
we
experiment
can't
of
afford to
talking
experiment
to
and
a
learn.
woman
You know, like
like
some
that
all
people,
right,
is
all
their
right, not
parents,
too long,
elementary.
their
not too long. We want
parents
to share the
can.
mic. We want to share the mic, but I want to say this. I've noticed this thing about white men being effeminate, white men being weak, and all of this chatting's going on. But you know what I find out as a black woman? Black men are so fearful of the white man that they want us to believe
Amen.
that the white man is effeminate. They want us to believe that the
Amen.
white man is inferior. They want us to believe that the white man is, but the white man is running things. Not only is the white man running
They
things,
don't
the
see
white man's
themselves.
running their women. How do you black men feel?
I agree. You know, I'm the
Well,
first
I
one to
wasn't
say I
saying that
Hold
to
on, the white
trigger
man's
No,
running you,
the
yeah?
I
conversation.
So
don't.
you bow down to the white man goddess,
No,
yeah?
what I'm
Well
saying
done.
is, can I
Thank you for
finish my
exposing
thought
yourself.
though? Sometimes
Lady
All
people,
right,
when I'm
is
hold
the
on,
talking,
hold on.
smartest
I
Robbie,
just
person
hold
want to.
on,
here.
guys. Let's let Robbie go. Then I'll go around to Stanley, and then anybody else who wants to say something. But
Don't
we gotta
need to
get some
talk
order,
to
guys.
Stanley.
Okay, just know,
Stanley, you're
people,
next.
from
You're next.
look, from this moment on, when I speak about men and trauma, I'm speaking about human beings, not necessarily specifically my unique
My
black
Lady D.
experience, because that's where we get tricked up. Is we think that some things are just exclusive to us, and that's when
Nope,
psychological warfare can be
nope,
used against us because we forget we're humans
nope.
first, and that's what I mean. Like with emotional intelligence, sometimes some things we'll say, "Man, that's just instinct," or "That's just how it is." All behavior is learned behavior. That includes conflict resolution. So even if you have a toxic father and he teaches you to handle things without being rational and without thinking and without being system smart, then you're led to just experimentation. We That's why, what does the Bible say? You walk with wise men, you'll be wise. If you've
Disagree
been with
All
thoroughly.
right, but brother Robbie, you got to shorten it down because I know
Yeah.
brothers.
Okay, I landed. I
What
landed.
It
I
Stay
never
know,
real
I
said
know,
quick.
wise
brother
women. It never
Stanley
said
wants to
wise
come
women
in.
though, did it?
Come on, come on, come
Never
on,
said wise women,
One
did it?
Schiffer, come on,
second.
Schiffer, and
Steve
Stanley,
wants to
come on,
come in.
guys.
Come
Let's
in,
go ahead and
Steve.
outburst, y'all. Let's do it out. I
Exactly.
see
He's an
it's nine
emotional little
people over here,
bitch.
guys.
But come on, Steve.
Yeah.
I know you want to speak. Come on.
Yeah, but Lady D, when you say
But
that, of
Lady D
course
can
we're
do that
gonna
though, yeah?
respond. That's what I'm saying, Lady D. When you
Like
say
that.
he's an emotional bitch, any human being is gonna respond to that, Lady D.
I
So
don't give a damn what he responds. I'm just letting you know
yeah,
what it is.
yeah,
He's
but
She
an
don't respect
emotional
you,
yeah, but
boy.
bitch and he keeps
no,
talking
what?
over people.
Yeah,
And
what?
Born, you need to let him know when people are talking, stop cutting them. He's an
Hey, y'all
emotional
don't put me in
bitch.
y'all shit. Y'all don't put me in the
Run
middle of
your
y'all shit,
panel. He's
man.
talking over your guests. Let Steve speak.
I know, but look, man, what y'all gotta do is let this go. Look, he come in. Let me show y'all something. This is how I know y'all are in some bullshit. He come in, the Lady Divine Slayer, and then you come in and say, "Shiftless God, Lady D," and you want to put me in the middle of y'all shit, man. I am. It's eight.
I'm
It's
telling you,
it's
stick to the
nine
thing and
people on
run
this.
your panel. Run your panel. Don't worry about what I come in as. Run your panel,
All
innit? He's
right,
talking
okay.
over people.
Let's just do it. Let's do it. I want to get all the men's
Don't
opinion
let her bad you up like that, Born. Don't
on
have
this.
it, fam.
Come on, Shiva. Stop the outburst. We gotta stop the outburst. All right, look, man. Look, let's go. Let's let some of the new people get on here.
Yeah. New people, please.
Unpopular. Simple, not a simple question. I know it's a
Born, you know, Steve wanted to speak, yeah?
it's a multi-layered question. Unpopular. All right. How do men deal with trauma? And I'm guessing I'm asking you about some of your personal relationships. Or how do you see your homeboys deal with trauma? How do men deal with trauma? Unpopular.
Um, man,
May I answer?
I said unpopular, Stanley, but I'll
oh,
come. I definitely, you'll definitely get a turn if you could please mute your mic while the brother is speaking. I got you, Stanley. I'm gonna pose the question to you too, brother.
man, how do men deal with trauma, man? It's like one of those things where it's just like shit. I guess it depends on like the shit, the the fucking quality of the fucking trauma, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just
Mhm.
like, depending on what you going through, like how you were raised, if you were like beat up on, whether you were sexually abused or whatever, or shit, maybe you grew up in an orphanage or some shit, or you grew up like adopted or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's so many factors that can come into your trauma, but like like to what somebody was saying earlier, like I feel like men just deal with it like trauma. I mean, for the most part, most of us, I feel like the trauma is. I'm not gonna say that it's easy to deal with, but if it depends, it varies depending on how you came up in like the walk of life that you went through. But like that's why I say, Born, maybe you should go a little bit more in depth because like you got so many different type of walks of life that can really dictate that trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause for the main part, like the regular people that grow up, they got regular families. Maybe they was raised by a single mother. Maybe they had both parents in their lives. I feel like we ain't got time to really just be complaining about shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like one of those things where it's not really any trauma, man. Like, and you do have to man up, and it's just like, man, it's like a lot of that shit don't matter. Like a lot of that emotional shit really don't matter, man. Like, really, you just got to stand on your square and do what you got to do. And a lot of shit has to deal with respect, man. Like I'm real big on respect, like in maturity, like, and everybody think that you know being a man has to look, take care of yourself, get your money. Like, but everybody think that being a man just have to do with income. Like I said this shit the other day. It's kind of like if you program a robot to do exactly what it's supposed to do, that's what it's gonna do. That's why I say a lot of human beings have been trained to be productive. And we look at productivity as that's what you have to be a man. But honestly, I feel like being a man has to deal with your mindset, your mind frame, like the morals and the principles that you carry with yourself as a man, like standing on righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it. We come from a traditional value of, like a religious background, God, Christianity. Like, and
Mhm.
it's funny people always want to throw religion out the window, like especially nowadays more than ever because of the internet and the information era. Oh, let's just throw God out the window. First of all, like if you could be a man of righteousness, and and people don't understand, it's not that easy. It's easy to be an asshole and be up on that bullshit. That shit's easy. Like there's no control to what you're doing. But if you can control your emotions, be a man, stand on your square, stand on respect, and say, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna really just go about just talking like this or talking like that. And really it's like one of those things where it's just like, you know like that's why I say like that trauma shit, like it really varies. I feel like trauma belongs to a special certain type of people. Like I look at all these people here on this panel. If you're here on this panel right now,
Mhm.
like, man, you ain't got, man, I feel like
You, go ahead, go ahead, go
you
ahead, go ahead.
you ain't got that much trauma, man, because it's people really out there just, and
But
I'm
everybody got a
I'm not,
story to tell. Unpopular, you know that
no,
everybody got a story.
You
everybody
have
does,
never.
everybody does have a story to tell. But as human beings, like what could we really do about the situations that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like,
My senior chief, I've experienced great human beings, actually smart people, and I know I've interjected.
Okay, All right, shout out to Stanley. If I could, Steve, same question to you, man. Like I said, I know it's a question with many layers, but
Yeah.
how do men deal with trauma?
Do you want the short answer or the long answer?
Pause, but go ahead with go
I'll
ahead.
give you the short one. I'll give you the short one
No, no,
first.
no.
The simple fact is we aren't. There's too much evidence to support the fact that we're not dealing with our traumas. We're not dealing with them healthfully. There's roughly about there's a couple of different studies, but the majority of it is about men are about 80% less likely to seek mental health professionals for their trauma. There's also other situations. If you look at the suicide rate, the suicide rate in all civilized countries is approximately 4 times the national average.
What do you
Here in the
mean by
United
civilized countries? No. Don't let that one slip, Boone. Civilized what?
Well, in most
Move your
civilized
Man,
bumper
don't
clock,
nitpick what the man
brother.
says, bro. Don't
Brother.
nitpick what the man
Ah,
says
you
and
know
let
what?
him
Let
just
him go. Let
talk.
him go. You lot are different.
Emotions, effeminate
I'll answer your
bitches.
question.
No, like I tell everybody, Shiffer, just if you disagree with some brother, keep a mental note, and then say, "Boy, I got when he's finished."
That's
Say,
fine,
"Boy, I
bro.
got
That's
something to
fine,
say."
bro. I'll
Yeah,
do
I
with it
got you.
after. That's fine.
So to answer your question, Shifa, it's when I say civilized countries, I'm saying countries that are actually capable of conducting these studies and actually gathering data. So
And who falls into that bracket? Who falls into that bracket?
He's
in
saying
any
developed
country that has
countries.
a health department of any kind that it can actually pull these statistics out. This
So
isn't
can you tell me a country that's uncivilized? One that's uncivilized. Name one.
He should have said developed. That's what he meant. Developed
yeah,
country.
developed would be a more appropriate word for it.
Whatever, man.
I'll take
See, when
that
you
criticism.
have nukes, you can talk as calm as he is. When all you got is vibrato, then we gotta be, we gotta make a, you know what I'm saying? We gotta make noise, and you know what I'm saying?
I thought it was funny though. I thought it was funny, but obviously no one else picked up on it. I'm just the smart one in the room.
Yeah, it's a valid criticism, and I should have used the right word. But getting back to it, these numbers, pretty much anywhere you go, men are at the top of the suicide list. Black men tend to fare a little bit better. White men between the ages of 35 and 45 are the highest risk. There's a lot of layers to it, and when you consider
push back, have black men been? You don't know black men.
I'm just going from the data.
Yes, data is white supremacy.
Well, I
Thank you,
don't know about
Stanley.
that.
Thank you, Stanley.
Not Stanley's
I
drunk right now.
will kill you on
Man.
that point.
Hey, this the shit I was talking about earlier, Born, when I was talking about like how people
Bro,
feel.
Stanley is straight up G.
Data is
Stanley
white
is straight up G.
supremacy.
This the shit I was
Let
talking
Stanley
about
speak,
earlier.
man. Let Stanley have a go, bro. Stanley is
I
straight up G.
won't go there. I made my point.
So there's a lot of
Steve
things
knows
that
this.
yeah,
We are.
there's
Oh dear.
Sorry, go
Okay.
ahead, Stanley. Go ahead, Stanley.
Nope.
Born, you may have to exercise the drop button.
Facts, man.
And Rob, you know that the data is the worst part. They will tell black people that they are not smart. I can't believe, Rob, you've never seen this?
Well, that's not the argument I'm making, Stanley. I'm not even going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
You shouldn't touch the 10-foot pole with dumb data.
Well, this isn't dumb data. This is peer-reviewed work
It
from
is
multiple different
hugely
colleges.
bad.
Well, I mean, if you want to call into question the study, that's fine.
Steve, Stanley's been intoxicated, so
Oh,
just
I know.
understand that too.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm wrong about the data.
Well, the one that I'm specifically, the one that I'm actually specifically citing right now is from the Census Bureau. So the annual age-adjusted suicide rate for men in the United States is
Where is
14.
this? I'm sorry, Steve. Where is it? Hold on,
non-data.
guys. Hold on, guys. Steve, where is this so I can share the screen? I like to kind of share the
Yeah,
screen.
and also quickly,
Let's
Steve,
see.
before you go with your thing,
I
do you
I
accept
will
that Black
concede.
American men? Hold
Steve
on,
is right.
Stanley, 1 second.
Listen to.
Stanley, 1 second. Steve, before you go with your thing, yeah, I just want to know: do you accept before you go that Black American men are 20 times more likely to suffer mental health illnesses than their counterparts, white American men?
You know, admittedly, I haven't gotten to that part of my research yet.
Right. So you're not speaking on a different perspective. You're speaking on just a general.
Well, no, I mean
general.
yeah, this is general. This is
Okay.
general.
I just want to work with you. Okay.
So there, yeah, I mean, you could actually make the argument that racialized black men are just mentally tougher than white men. Sure. You know, but there's just
But do
I
you
don't personally
accept
have that
the
data here,
premise?
so I couldn't back that up. But that's what it seems
You
like.
can't back it up, but you would accept the premise.
Yeah, it's an inference. Yeah, I'd be happy to
From
accept
what
that
I
as
know,
a
from
premise.
what I saw, that they say black men are 20 times more likely to suffer severe what did it say? Hold on, let me look it
Well,
up.
you know what? I'm gonna
Guys,
write
just
that
know this:
down.
Severe
when you
depressive
interject, you make
disorder.
people lose their train of thought. I think we have more emotional intelligence than that. Just let the man finish his point and then chime in.
That's what no, listen, we just want to clarify that he's not speaking on a black man, white man divide, or is it just
No.
men in general? That's what it was.
Yeah, this is a
Cool
general
down,
study.
Robbie, man, cool down.
So where was I? Good grief. Oh no, I lost myself here. Oh, I got it. Okay, so in the United States, the annual age-adjusted suicide rate is 14 men per 100,000 individuals. On average, men die from suicide about 3.5 times more often than women, but women attempt to commit suicide more frequently. On average, there's about 132 suicides per day. That totals out to be about 48,180 men per year dying from suicide. That's approximately 70% of suicides are men. The UK is not faring much better at all. Actually, they're slightly higher than the US at about 15.5 per 100,000 individuals. The worst ones are the Eastern European countries like Lithuania, Russia. Holy fuck, they're 45 per 100,000 individuals. Like if you go up into Lithuania, it's about 60. So that's 60 people every 100,000 individuals are committing suicide, as compared to the US is 14. The country with the largest suicide rate is Lithuania, and that's 63. So 63 male suicides per 100.
Why do you think those men are committing suicide, though, brother? Because a lot of times I would suggest it's due to the women. How do you feel about that?
I would, first of all, I'm not going to make that inference because I don't have that data, and I'm not that to answer that question. I'm going to have to do like 6 more months worth of study work. But I don't think women are men's problems. They're our partners. They walk through this world just like we do.
Logical brain.
I like the fact you said think, brother, and I like the fact that you said you're going to do the research, because I'll guarantee you may find that Schiffer is never wrong, brother.
Well, I can tell you what the most often the most frequent complaint is when asked why men don't go into mental health support or into mental health providers. Most often, it's the reaffirmation of the male stereotype, the masculine stereotype. So let me actually pose this question to you: Is it more likely, if we look at just raw data, just the suicide rate? One has to expect that we're not dealing with something, and we're doing it in a piss poor way, because the way that we talk to each other or don't talk to each other. I mean, and we're obviously not dealing with trauma in a healthy way.
What if it's something you can't deal with, my brother?
It is your
because there's some situations you literally cannot deal with. You could do your best from your side of things, but there may be other people or other things, other factors involved that are out of your control.
Absolutely. But that's
I'm gonna
why
leave
there's
it
mental
there.
health
Hey,
professionals.
Steve, when
All
you get a
right,
chance,
now that the
I'll
men
ask
are
you a
talking,
question.
now we getting the intelligence coming now. You know, there was one elegant sister who was talking earlier. I don't know where she's gone, but that sister
I'm
highly
here.
intelligent.
I'm
We
here.
need her opinion. We need her opinion as well because I think it's very valuable.
I'm
Well,
here.
Okay. Steve,
yeah.
can you hear me? Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted your opinion on this, and this is something that from my research and what I've seen, and it kind of is, you can say, my mantra now, not to be anti-capitalist or so much anti-West, but understanding the
It was
pathology in it.
never
And you
right.
may be able to agree with me. I think what leads to a lot of that suicide is the profit motive, the psychological warfare of like Western exceptionalism. And some people, I think, more and more as jobs shrink and wages decrease, I think people don't feel like they measure up. So it ends up becoming like a psychological pressure motive. And then when you think about the type of drugs that say young people use, crack cocaine won't necessarily make somebody commit suicide, marijuana won't, but some of these pills and some of these other drugs now that kids are experimenting with, and I would say maybe more in the white community, kids had more access to, they had a little bit more money to. I know for a fact that's led to a lot of like mental health and psychiatric issues. So I'm thinking like social pressures. I think people want to make it to the top of the mountain. Then they get to the top of the mountain, they realize there's another mountain, or they feel like they're gonna lose it all, buckle under the pressure, right? And then be stigmatized by being a failure. Do you think that plays a role into it?
Absolutely. So men's perception of themselves according to society's expectations definitely do play a factor in it. There was a study done where uh, the individual's self-identity of masculinity played a very large role in their difficulty of talking to a mental health professional. And many suicides, especially the notes that have been left behind, and this is the other problem, and this is a very serious fucking problem. Is there's a it's hard to tell because you can't really gather data on something like this, but the best data that we have is that there's a fairly large number of men who commit suicide by other means, meaning they attempt suicide in a way where it's not going to affect the health insurance or the life insurance, right? So they will kill themselves with poison. This happens predominantly this happens
And why is that, bro? Why is that?
more frequently in, you know what, I can't remember exactly where, so I'm not going to say, but there are locations where men will attempt to commit suicide by poisoning, so that it appears to look like an accident. Because if if you blow your brains out, life insurance policies don't pay.
That's right. And why do you think they
So
do that, brother? Because a lot of the times it's because of the situation they're in with their woman. Look at the other day, Sinead O'Connor's son. Why did he commit suicide, bro? And this is what I mean. Like, you see me, I don't just talk for no reason. And I need you to understand something about your census as well. When you're dealing with census, how many of the black people in this room have ever done a census? Have ever completed one? I ain't never done one in my
Never,
life. So
never, never.
when you're bringing up your statistics, brother, your statistics are null and void because they don't include majority of our people.
I don't
actually,
know. Let me
actually,
say
that's
this,
not
though,
true.
Schiffer. Let me say this, Schiffer. I don't know if the statistics are null and void. I will say they're skewed, right? Or they're not complete. I
Well,
would say
if they're incomplete, then they're null and void until they're completed. Thank you.
Well, see, that's where I'm going to disagree with you, Shifa, because the skewness of the data doesn't match that presumption. So
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
if
Because the only black men that you're involving in your census are the ones you've got trapped in your system,
Is
i.e., the ones that
Shanita Connor
they
black?
snatch up and they're juicing them up with the drugs and they're keeping them in mental health institutions. You know, they've got them locked up in jail houses, XYZ. That's the only ones you got on your census, bro. So it's more than skewed,
That's
bro.
what
And I'm
I
gonna go back on
said.
mute.
no, that's
Facts.
not correct. That's not correct.
Yeah, it is correct. Yeah, it is correct.
What do you
You
know
don't
what the
know no black
population of
people, bro.
people who are imprisoned who are
You
racialized black?
don't know, bro. You don't know no black people,
Racialized
bro.
black.
Schiffer, can you let him talk?
Born, is this
Yeah,
what you're
but you
doing,
don't know
Born?
no black people,
Born, is
bro.
this what
Come
you're
on,
Can
man.
I
doing?
answer that
What are
question?
you lot
why
doing?
y'all
What
keep
are you
saying
lot doing?
born?
Move.
Yeah, why y'all keep saying born, man? Let him talk, Schiffer. Let him talk.
Less than 2.5% of the black population is in prison. So are you telling me that the other 98 or 97.5% of the racialized black population hasn't filled out
Are
a
not doing the
census,
census. That's right. That's
opened a bank
right.
account,
That's right.
hasn't gone to
Yes, that's
school?
right. They got
Yeah,
bank accounts,
you don't
but
know
they
what you're
ain't
talking
filling your
about.
census.
Sheffer, you
Just
wilding
plain and
now,
simple. You
brother.
don't know what you're talking about. I got
I
more
don't know
data
what I'm
than you
talking
got
about.
brains, man. I ain't even gonna fuck
I
around
don't know
with
what I'm talking about. All right, cool, whatever, man.
So the thing
So
is,
let me
right?
try and talk to Steve now and have an actual conversation. So
Can
Steve,
Absolutely. I'd love to.
so Steve, what I'm saying to you is this: yeah, I
You
understand the
talk to the
point.
racist white man. Go on, fire away.
Come on,
I
Sheffer. Come
understand.
on, man. Come on, Sheffer.
That is
Listen,
racism,
Paul,
bro,
if
at
you
its
don't throw
best.
him in
I'm
the back
sorry.
so everybody else can speak, this is a joke.
Sheffer, mute up, brother, because for real, we have been respectful and we've been sharing the platform, bro.
It's
come on,
not
bro.
the right argument.
Right. So,
he's on to something,
I'd like
but
to
go
hear
ahead,
what
Lady.
Lady D has to say
thank
personally.
you. So, what I'm trying to say to you, I understand the point he's making. So,
And
most of us,
you're
oh, for
not
fuck's sake,
actually
Stanley,
proposing the right argument.
Stanley, let the sister talk, man.
Stanley has an excuse because he's intoxicated.
Yeah. So Stanley, come on, brother.
That is odd,
Robbie. Damn it,
but
Robbie.
I'm right.
All right, Stanley. Please go on mute, brother, and let's please, guys. Like Robbie said, when people keep jumping in, people forget their thoughts. Go ahead, Lady D, before you forget what you was about to say.
I'm about to say, like, I understand the point Schiffer's making. So let me try and put it better, Steve. Yeah. So if black people are not completing the census and are not participating in the census, how are you then making accurate numbers for these datas that are provided? That's the point he's trying to make.
Yes.
So we do have a very we have a couple of different systems in which we can actually determine if our numbers are correct. One of those ways is you can do basically a checksum of birth certificates versus how many censuses are completed versus how many death certificates are assigned. So you can get a fairly accurate number of the number of people who are actually alive, living, and participating in the system that we're living in, so to speak. So it's fairly accurate.
That was a blatant lie because census is done on a small number of people. It's not completed on the whole population. You just lied, and brother, now that you just know, hold on 1 second. No, I let him speak freely. Let me speak freely. Now that you've just lied, we know that this is a racist white charlatan on your panel, Born Rich, talking shit because we know the census only consists of about 100,000 people. So how are you gonna implicate the whole entire population in that, bro? What you need to do, bro, is you need to take your bullshit statistics and shove them where the sun don't shine, bro.
Okay, Steve, he's being a troll. I got one point to ask. I got a point to ask, guys. That's not emotional.
Hold on, Robbie. Let's get some order because what we're not going to do is just have this word racist just being thrown around. Him not coming with the data you want, if it does not make him racist, bro. Like, stop.
He just lied about the data, though.
Listen, Schiffer, listen to what I'm saying.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
1 second. Listen to me good. That doesn't make him racist. That might make him biased or skewed in his answers, but it doesn't make him racist, bro, is what I'm saying.
In your opinion, yeah. In my opinion,
but y'all are forgetting the whole point, man. This was make us look ignorant. The whole purpose of the census is so they can basically do the gerrymandering and stuff for voting zones. That's the main purpose of it. It ain't to keep track of people because most of us have a driver's license. Come on, man. That's what I mean. Like sometimes we don't even think. They know how many people are here, dummy. And they know how many people commit suicide that are black because it has to be put down that they're black when they blow their brains out or do whatever it is. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. This right here is actually embarrassing because people outside of this panel will look. And you know, one thing I don't want to do is give white supremacists trolling footage to
bro,
laugh.
I was talking about the mental health, bro.
Hold up, man. See how we don't have emotional intelligence? That's why they call us monkeys. And I'm starting to agree. Because some of us act like monkey ass dumbasses, man. We ain't got time for this.
Robbie, calm down.
Whatever, man.
No, there's no come on with it. It's because we gotta exercise emotional intelligence.
I understand Robbie's
wait, sister.
I understand his
No, hold up, sister. Because truth be told, when somebody's trolling, they'll take shots at you. And I don't say nothing.
Yeah, but you can't.
That's true. That's true, Robbie.
And what I'm saying is we have a white man on the panel and we're not conducting ourselves correctly and understand people outside of this. So that's what I'm saying. I ain't trying to embarrass nobody. I'm saying I'm embarrassed. I'm like,
Talk
shoot, I
me
might
through
want to
it,
go
Oh,
work
Stevie,
there
because
whatever.
And I'm
this
tomorrow.
is
gonna
the
tell
truth.
you
Because
this. Hold on.
I 100%
Hold on,
agree
let
with
me
you,
say
right?
I
something. Let
find
me
that
say
to be
something, Lady D.
embarrassing.
Schiffer, let me say something because everybody know, like, I don't have to get on the fucking soapbox with a bullhorn and say I am pro-black. But I'll tell you what I did, guys. I did intentionally not put black men in the title. Because I did want to open the conversation up to men in general. But knowing my panel, I know it's eventually going to go into black men. But I specifically didn't put black men in the title just so we can open it up for everybody. So if I'm going to intentionally do that with the title, I want Steve to be able to say what he has to say. Now, Schiffer, if you think he's racist, but come on, Schiffer, you know how to do this in a real intellectual
Can
way,
I?
brother. Now
When you
you
lot
can
finish, I'll talk, bro.
I know, but Schiffer, you can sit on a panel and shout racist and shout racist. You're just a racist and take those stats and shove them. But then you have to come with an intelligent argument and say, okay, if you think this brother is racist, then you explain the reasons why. I'm gonna tell you another thing, Schiffer. It really don't matter why you
Do you?
think he's racist right now, because
May I?
this
Okay.
ain't what I want to get stuck on, Schiffer. You see what I'm saying, brother? Now,
Okay.
because now we're talking about trauma
Okay.
when it comes to men. But if I let you continue
Mm.
on, then you're gonna break it down to why Steve is racist and why Steve is not racist. I don't want the
No, I'm
conversation
not
to
gonna.
go
I'm
there.
let you have your
May
I want to
conversation,
stick.
bro. Have
Yeah,
your
I want to.
conversation.
I still want to stick
You
on
Talk
have
freely,
trauma.
bro.
the land.
Yeah, I still want to speak
Yeah,
on
talk
trauma.
freely.
Lady D brought up mental health. Somebody else brought up suicide rates. All of that shit is up under the umbrella of trauma. We need to get back and understand, how do men deal with trauma? Is it tough love? Is
Mm.
it like, what is it? Is it tough
And if
love?
this is a serious topic, just
May
don't
I
be
say a
trolling.
quick
That's
thing?
my whole thing
All
that
right,
I'm looking for is trolling.
born rich. This brother always wants to jump in. You're talking to
No.
me, bro. Let me reply to you, born rich. Here, I was only saying that this brother's a racist based on his statistics on mental
No.
health, not on his statistics on suicide. Because on
Steve is
suicide, we
not.
know. Hold on,
He's
broski.
no.
Suicide. Sorry, broski. Sorry, broski. When it
Steve is
comes to
not a
suicide,
racist.
we know if someone commits suicide, it's recorded. Yeah, but we know that officially, like you said yourself, most people ain't reporting their mental health, especially
That
men. And
depends.
But what we're trying to
secondly,
tell you,
not
bro, is you're
everyone's
making a
not everyone's taking.
generalization.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro.
He's pro
You said it's
reparations. How is he
emotional. Do you
racist?
know what? You
He's
listen.
pro
You interrupt me.
reparations. How is he racist? Just
You
think
finish
about
my
I don't
that.
want to
sentence.
get caught on
You
that
He's
finish my
pro
sentence, bro.
reparations. How is he
You
racist?
finish my
gravity. I
sentence,
don't want
bro.
to get
You
caught on
finish my
that.
sentence.
Right. Can I just
Steve
quickly
is
say
the
something?
least
Standing,
racist person on
standing.
the
Yeesh.
earth.
Can you read the back? Can
Y'all
you read the back?
crazy as hell.
Can I just say, like, for the viewers, it's really
Yeah.
difficult if you guys interrupt each other. We can't hear the conversation. Just, I'm going to need you to bring it down a little bit and just relax. It's quite early in the morning for us, right? So just chill out and just make your
All right.
point.
Well, tell this guy to finish my sentence for me. Then I'll shut up.
Okay, no,
I
and Robbie,
will have to
Robbie.
go
Can you read the
first.
back as well, because I don't want any mocking of particular people. And Stanley, you can't interrupt people. But I'm just gonna jump
I
off.
wasn't mocking Stanley. I don't know where somebody got that.
Well,
No,
talk to him
I
about the
don't think
drinking.
that,
I'm
Rob.
not comfortable with that, and if he is, you should tell him to
I'm.
jump off.
Please
Yeah.
let me defend Steve. Tosh.
No, Stanley. I
That's
think
okay.
Steve can defend himself.
Yeah, I'm okay.
That
I don't think he
motherfucker
needs your help. But I'm just
doesn't.
saying it doesn't sound good to
He
the viewers. We can't
is.
hear what you guys are saying, and everyone's got important, opinions to put
I
forward.
will quit.
Okay,
You
go on.
do not. Steve is.
Go on. I'll let you get on with it. Sorry,
No,
Rob.
no, no, no. Don't you come on here and run. You stay here. You stay
Oh,
here
I'm
and deal
staying
with
here.
this.
Yes, Tosh.
We're gonna
Yeah.
deal with this crowd
Yeah,
together.
Tosh.
Steve. Stay here. Stay here.
You know, I understand where you're coming from, Shifa, and I understand, but I want you to understand that I'm a men's right activist, and I'm a feminist, and so the angle that I'm coming from here isn't to offend, it's not to press a racist agenda. I'm really truly concerned about our youth. I really, really am. So when I'm talking about these things, it's to try and get an understanding of what's going on. That's it. I don't have an agenda to push. As a matter of fact, I would much rather prefer to be your friend than your
What?
enemy.
Stay away from the statistics then. Just tell us your opinion. Share with us your brain power. You know, don't use the brain power of racist people who've come up with skewed statistics, and also people who directly violate my people. Yeah, and want to tell black people they got mental health because they don't agree with their system X, Y, Z. Because a lot of black people who's told they got mental health don't actually have it, and that's why I'm so passionate about the subject.
I
I know
agree with
people
that.
who've
He's
suffered at
right,
the hands of the
Steve.
system.
I agree with that. I cannot deny that.
He's
I cannot deny that.
So if you want me to go that route, that's fine. I came in here to offer statistics and to offer, you know, information. I was not aware of your feelings on statistics. I could disagree with you on that, but I don't know how beneficial that would be.
no.
The
We
numbers are the
say
numbers. I mean, they're the best numbers that we have. There's
we
no other
say
numbers that we can draw from.
the best numbers.
They are the best numbers. They're the only numbers that we have, Stanley.
So hold on. Here's what I'm suggesting.
Okay, then I'm
Born.
out.
Yeah.
This is what I'm suggesting. I suggest that let Steve should be able to come, because remember he's got to be working with statistics. He should be able to come, bring all the statistics he wants, and for people who don't agree with the statistic, just dismantle his argument intelligently. But don't tell
Yeah.
him don't bring the statistics. We want him to bring the statistics, and then we will just dismantle him if we don't agree.
Absolutely.
With power. Come on now, do better.
I'm
Come on,
more than
Steve.
happy to
Bring
be
your skill.
criticized.
Bring it on. We
Is
want it.
the
Bring it on.
worst
Bring it
way
on.
to
I will
argue.
actually give you all of my information. I'll give you all of the data. I'll give you all of the sources.
May
I'll
I
give
ask
you
you
all
a
of the
question,
studies.
Steve?
So, yeah.
Come on, Steve. I
You
want
think
to hear your.
the
I want to hear the
information is right?
statistics on the mental health, though. Let's get back to the mental health statistics. And do we know what the biggest factor in the cause of mental health in men?
Depending upon who you speak to, the majority of the majority consensus is fatherlessness plays a large role in children's ability to have good, proper mental health care or mental health support.
Are white people in the same way as black people?
Well, I'm assuming that black fathers love their children.
Less?
Are they not wanting to teach them the skills that are
Steve,
required in life, Stanley? Of course of course we're the same in that aspect. I want to give my
white
child the
people
most.
actually think that black people, they think black people don't have families, correct?
No, I don't know
Oh,
what you're
really?
talking about. I'm not
I
operating from that position,
see
Stanley.
Charles Murray. I see him in wax.
Fuck Charles
They
Murray
think we
and
are
fuck Amy Wax.
some weird people.
Well, I'm not arguing from their position. What I'm giving you is I'm giving you information, and I'm going to let you infer whatever you want from it.
Information from their statistics is my point.
Right, but I'm making a quantitative argument. I'm not making an
Am I
inferential
right?
argument here.
So let me ask y'all this though, right? Now, if the statistics are what they are, right?
Right.
If people are committing suicide at these high rates and these high numbers, man, that means we're not dealing with trauma correctly.
No, we are not.
We're not dealing with it correctly. So no matter what we're doing, whether we're drinking or, I mean, some people say we should be talking to
White people
talking
don't
to,
understand.
Hold on, Stanley.
people told me that we should be talking
Born
to
Rich, you know what this panel is displaying? This panel is displaying that we're in denial that we have trauma in our community. We're too busy arguing about statistics, arguing about whatever, instead of sticking to the topic where we're talking about how we deal with trauma. You know what I mean? It's like we're in denial about it. I can tell you right now, there's gangbangers with trauma, with PTSD. You know what I mean? There's black women who've seen their mothers abused by multiple boyfriends over the time of their life. And that's why they may have some anger that they don't understand where it comes from, because that's psychological trauma. But we don't have to make it just a racial issue. We could talk about family. But if we're going to talk specifically black, this is what I mean. I like this panel because it's supposed to be no capping. Even if I personally haven't dealt with trauma, I don't need to bury my head in the sand and not listen to people who may have trauma, because a lot of us don't open up about it.
Can I chime in? Can I chime in for a minute?
Of course, Queen. Of course.
I was listening to everybody going back and forth, and The topic was how do men deal with trauma? And my response, even though I'm a woman, is that they don't. I heard over and over that, if another man come to another man, he got an issue with a girl or finances or whatever the case may be, and your response is deal with it. Toughen up, nigga. Get tough skin. Do this, do that. That's not solving the problem for the person that's coming to the other man. Do you understand where I'm coming from? What you're going to do is suppress the problem. So now
May
the
I
man
ask you
came
a
to
quick
you and
question?
he said, hold on one second. The man came to you and he said, I have an issue. Whatever the issue may be, I went through something, whatever the case may be. And your response is, toughen up, you know, handle it like a man. That does not solve that issue for that man. All it
Mm-hmm.
does is suppress
Then
it. Now he's not going to want to say nothing else to the next man. So he suppresses it. And it just builds up and builds up and builds up. And that's when I say that's where the
Yeah.
black woman comes in.
Okay.
We're going to play our part
did
in this issue, whether you want to admit it
I
or
think
not
I think
admit
you
it.
misinterpreted me though, sis, because I think there's a lot more to it than just saying man up. I think it's what it's about is dealing with our issues logically,
did
like
the
I tried
black
to explain
man
to you before,
ignore it
and separating ourselves
entirely?
from our emotions, looking at the things that we're upset about. Like for instance, your woman is tormenting you, she's upset with you because you ain't earning enough money and she belittling you, whatever, and now you're upset about it. Now you're having some kind of mental health breakdown. All right, bro, how are we gonna put you in a better situation? How are we gonna get your money up? Let's not focus on her. Let's not focus on the emotional side of things. Let's focus on the logical things that we can control. And the things that are outside of our control, let's put them to one side for a moment. Yeah,
No.
there's a lot more to it than that. But sis, this isn't really a conversation for panels. That's what I was trying to allude to you earlier.
See,
Nah,
that's
it can be had by panels,
It
and we got to
can be.
expand the scope past relationships or women
Exactly.
trauma,
So let me
because
say
everybody's
this.
trauma ain't
All
just
right,
a
you
woman
you lot
trauma.
finish for me. You finish for me then, Rob.
But
I'm
you
done at
stop.
that
But
point
you ain't
because I'm
stopping.
not exposing
Yeah, I'm
anymore.
not.
I
I'm
know
not even
she
But,
talking
but,
ain't.
but
about
another thing
females.
too
We're
that
just talking about trauma in general.
another thing that we ain't put in perspective too. What if the man trauma? What if the man trauma before he can even
can
say anything to
Lady
anybody?
D
What
and
if his trauma is
Tasha
already made public? What if the man's trauma is already public before he make it public? There goes a whole nother aspect of it because in the hood
Oh
when
fuck
you
yeah,
when
yeah.
your business in the hood
Yeah,
when your
yeah.
business get out there, everybody talking about it. You get clowned by your boys, you get clowned by the females, you get clowned by
That's
everyone.
humiliation. That's
Yeah,
humiliation.
but that adds on to the trauma.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
It does. It adds to the stigma.
I always say nobody wants to be humiliated, but that's another thing. But see, the thing is, like, even when Schiffer says this isn't for panels, when is it and where is it? Where is a safe space for men to talk about trauma? Because I
Yeah,
find
When
I
you and your
find when we
homeboy,
Absolutely.
when you and your homie are in private,
yeah, but I feel
yeah,
like
but
this
that's
should
why I
help
if
said
you
you
But
gotta
it's
be
want.
able
always
you
working
gotta
All right,
on
be
it.
hold
able
on,
to
guys.
pick
Hold
you
on,
gotta
guys.
be able to pick that homie that you can be confident in telling him because in the hood, you can't tell your business to everybody. Even if you got that one homie, sometimes stuff comes out.
So,
He may say it to his girlfriend, and his
Yeah,
girlfriend might say it. So,
I,
it is
I'm
what it
gonna
is.
push back on this
trying to
about.
see how do we deal with this without the woman. That's my thing. Because like I said earlier, y'all,
We
a
don't
lot of my
all live in the
trauma.
hood.
Hold on, Stanley. Hold on, Stanley. A lot of the shit that I deal with, to me in my personal life, is financial. So it's not even like relationship shit. Like I know if it's from something about relationship, I can go talk to my homeboys. But a lot of the shit is like financial. I get down in the dumps because of financial type of shit. And I feel like at a moment like that, I probably need to talk to the black woman.
Exactly. You're not gonna
You
go to
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
homeboy
you
about
you
that.
you know what you've done, boy.
That just don't seem like a
yeah. What's
solution.
that? What's that, Robert?
What you have done is you've basically given us the blueprint for the code that we need to be on. Because what we're exposing is if the root of a lot of our trauma, speaking as black people, is the system of white supremacy, which if we're honest, we can't even talk to other black people about that. But guess what else we can't talk to other black people about? Our money problems. Because the first thing niggas gonna do is either, hey
You
man,
broke.
you need to level up, or they gonna
Yeah,
clown you for being broke, right?
you broke.
Then if you have relationship issues, depending on the maturity level and the income bracket of people, you may either get toxic advice or same thing, clowning or whatever. That's why I thank God I have my father in my life. But like we say, there's a lot of us that don't have father figure there, so you're not getting that experience. What even if there was, even if you think he's a negative person, there's still some positive experiences and life lessons he could have gave you if he was there. And then we're still dealing with white supremacy, and like I said, a lot of us won't even admit that white supremacy exists. Everybody on the panel will, but I'm talking about the majority of that, the diaspora, when I step off the panel. So that's the problem, is we don't talk about our problems. Everybody want to act like we got it together, and we're like these rappers. That's why social media
Yeah.
is perfect for us. Everybody put some
Why
masks
not?
on. Everybody pretend
Why
like they
don't we
don't got
be
no
the change
problem.
that we want to see then, Robbie? Why don't we be the change that we want to see? Because luckily for you, I'm not a N-word, yeah? And luckily for the people around me, lucky for my homies, if they ask me for a favor, like my
Frederick
homie rang me the other
Douglass,
day. He said,
Martin Luther
I'm in
King.
a bit of a problem. Do you know what? I miscalculated this month. Can I get a little something to get me through? Bro, what do you need? That was my my question to him. And then I sent it over to him, bro. And I don't
I
judge
agree.
him. I ain't calling him I ain't telling him he needs to level up. I ain't got none of that mentality where I'm coming from. Now, what I find is, bro, I get no help from nobody. What I get is people always trying to tear me down. Yeah, unfortunately. And the same people that want to tear me down, do you know what? I'll probably end up helping you at some point too. But do you know what? I don't even care, bro, because I'm bigger than that.
Right. And you know what? I would say now we're talking about sociology. I would say in that sense, that's why sometimes we have to expand our social circle, because you're right. There are going to be some people that are just takers and never givers. They're not even they're not in a financial position to ever return a loan. They're not even in an intellectual capacity to give you any good advice. They're just somebody that you care about, that I want to say, for better words, they're a zero. They don't take away, but they don't really add on immediately, right? Unless there's several of them. So we got to be around people, which is why I like panels like this. I'm assuming we're past all the little basic stuff. Everybody here agrees that white supremacy exists, but we shouldn't be easily triggered by it. And what I was trying to prevent from happening without the risk of sounding coonish is, because I know for me, I'm going to lie, when Steve first came on the panel, I think some episodes back, I had my antennas up, right? But then I took my ignorance away and I said, let me listen to this man talk. And then sure enough, I said, wait a minute. He's pro reparations and he's not making excuses for white supremacy. He had his face on the camera. He wasn't flinching. He wasn't being fake. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier, not necessarily about allies the other day, but about vetting people. So we don't want to be so cynical where we act like we can't trust anyone or hear anybody's ideas. And what end up happening is, let's say if a bunch of people start bashing him when his intentions were to try to be helpful, he'll just say, you know what, man, I'm done. There's plenty of white people who already say they're done. But what we can do in these panels, say somebody like myself, I can say, man, I want to be black first. I'm waking up. I want to do this and that. And then you have somebody bash you over the head, humiliate you, add to your trauma from white supremacy and all the other toxic crap we got going on. And you know what the easiest thing for us to do is to say, I don't care. That's the worst
Steve,
thing any black person can do right now, is say, I don't care.
you
And some people are
cannot.
doing
Yeah,
a
but
very good job of convincing me to be selfish and just say, you know what, man, I'm going to just bury my head in the sand. But you know what? Stuff has gotten so real that we can't. So if we have opportunities where we can talk about things that are solution based, I'm for it.
Yeah, but Robbie, you made a comment
That's
about
true. That's why
white
you get all
people.
these.
Sorry, one moment. You made a comment about white people seeing us as monkeys, and I can understand why they do. I think those kind of comments in 2022 is
You
unacceptable,
want me to
right?
break down what I mean by that?
No, but I
Let me,
don't think you
let,
should even make comments like
No,
that,
no, I
right?
want to.
That's
No, you got to
unacceptable.
understand how people think. This is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
understand.
who cares
See,
about how
no,
they
no,
think? Why are
wait,
you
no,
saying that?
please, just give me a chance since you brought it up, because I want to clarify what I meant by that. I didn't mean literally monkey. What I
Yeah,
meant
I know
is
what you
that,
meant because I
wait,
know
are you gonna
historically
cut me
what
off?
we've been
Let me
called.
land. Let me land real
Sorry,
quick.
sorry,
I'm
Robbie,
talking about two
Robbie.
different belief
Don't
systems,
insult
right?
my intelligence by
They
telling
don't
me the
believe
history.
in religion. Some of these people who are at least atheists like this, they don't believe in religion. They believe in evolution. So their whole thing is, when you are an
Bro, I
evolved
know the
person,
history of why white
Robbie,
no,
you're
people
no,
missing
see
her
us
listen.
like
When
point.
you're
this.
an
Hear her
evolved
out,
person,
Robbie.
you
You're
don't talk
missing her
over
point.
people and you
You're missing her
exercise
point,
emotional
May
Robbie.
I
intelligence.
chime in?
You
That's
Robbie,
my
know, Robbie,
point,
Robbie,
yeah,
one
bro.
Robbie,
second. You're missing her
Robbie,
point.
yeah,
Hear
you're
her
not letting
out.
us get
Hear
together.
her out.
You don't got
Robbie,
passionate.
I know the history of why white men or white women called
No, I'm talking
black
about what
people
I
May
meant by
I
monkeys.
monkey. You
chime
didn't know
in?
what I meant by that. I wasn't
Listen,
talking about in
don't
that
insult.
racial
Hold
sense
on,
only.
Robbie. You've got a kind of a knack of kind of telling people or seeing what people think. I'm saying to you that using those kind of terms in 2022, I understand the whole atheist argument on this, right? In terms of the way that they say black people, but then you said, I understand why they do call us that at times. That's
May I speak
unacceptable,
up?
Okay,
right?
let me explain why I say
No, the
that. And I'm trying
understanding,
not
Yeah.
and I'm
you
trying not to
understanding
attack it.
part.
You brought something up. Can I address it? This is
No,
all I'm
Okay.
hold
saying.
on, Robbie.
This
I
is
want
all
you
I'm
to.
saying.
You will talk.
Oh, gosh, Robbie, the part which I have an issue with is the fact that you said I understand why they call us monkeys.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
I
defend.
didn't say that. I said I can
okay.
Oh,
Well,
understand why
rewind the
some
tape.
of them can make that argument when we exercise no emotional intelligence. That's what. How is that hard to understand? I
Facts.
think we're higher than that.
Okay,
I'm
hold
not
on real
saying I
quick.
agree with it.
Robbie,
I'm saying
Robbie,
we're
Robbie,
fitting the
Robbie, Robbie,
stereotype.
Robbie, Robbie, Robbie. I know, brother. Hold on, hold on. I have something going on right now. Brother Mike, are you still there? Brother Mike? All right, brother Mike.
may I defend Steve?
Hold on, Stanley. All right, I'm gonna have to kick you, brother Mike, because there's somebody else. We got a panel full, and somebody else is trying to come. Come on, brother Mike. So just hit the link when you get back with us. All right, sorry guys. Go ahead. Whoever's trying to join the panel, come on. All right, go ahead, Stanley. I mean, whoever.
My Steve is. You don't attack Steve. Period. I'll hop on. That motherfucker has read history
Yeah.
and philosophy. We don't. He is white, but he and you know me, Lady D and Tosh, you don't attack him. Period.
Steve.
That motherfucker knows shit.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm sure I've heard drunk,
Yeah.
but Steve, that man has lived life. He has read books, and I would bark at normal people, but not Steve. I
Okay.
will have to defend my argument.
All right, Stanley. I don't even know if I've asked you the question, Stanley. Let's get to it, man.
Okay.
How do you, in your personal life, deal with trauma or heartache or heartbreak or shit like
That's not something my wife died and I watched her die. I had to pull the plug. That's not something. Do we really have to talk about this? I
No,
had
we
to
don't have
make
to. We
that
don't have to.
decision,
We don't
sir.
have to, Stanley. We don't have to. We can move on. I mean, it's a general question. I
Well,
have a new panelist, Kale. Kale, is
Hey
that
I
you?
Stanley.
had to
Hey
make the
Stanley.
decision.
Hey
The who?
Stanley.
Yeah.
I love you.
Fuck that.
I do.
And
These
that's how
people
men do,
want to
Steve.
know
No,
how
like
I'm
for real. I mean,
situated.
I'm all about building people up,
Born
and
rich,
you know that.
Lady D, Tosh, Rob, all the people I respect. I had to make the decision.
Yeah, take a break. Take a break, Stanley.
I lost her, and I had to make the decision.
Okay,
And
Stanley.
Take a break. Take a break,
So,
Stanley.
yes,
Take a
yeah,
break. I got Kale
oh,
on the
yeah.
listen,
panel.
I
I know
know.
Stanley.
Please,
Stanley.
please talk.
Stanley, I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna have to mute your
Yeah.
mic, man. We got Kale on here, brother, and
Sorry.
You asked.
yeah, I know.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
talk about that another time. Kale, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, ball man?
Doing well,
Yeah,
brother. You know
I
what
just
I'm
been.
asking. You know what I'm about to ask you, brother. How do men deal with
Forgot to
trauma?
mention she was white.
Come on, Stanley. Come on, brother. Stay on mute. Stay on mute. Kale, how do we deal with trauma, brother? How do men deal with trauma?
Yeah, give us the mixed race perspective, please.
See, that's what I mean, man. That's all that trolling, and that's why I'm out.
Yeah, Schiffer, don't do that. Schiffer,
Well,
why do you
why am
do
I
that?
not allowed to say that? Is there you got
No,
a
but
problem with
Schiffer,
mixed
why are
race
you just
people,
calling
Robbie?
people racist? You can't do that. That's
Oh
not
I
my
never
supposed
said
to
he
God.
was
do.
racist.
Thanks,
I
Lady
You
never
D.
said he
can't
was
assume
racist.
someone's race. Like, what are you
I didn't
doing,
assume
Schiffer?
it. I didn't assume it.
No one has
I
said
know it.
he hasn't said what he is or who he is.
I've
Kale.
spoken to him before. I've spoken to him before many occasions.
So you've
So
assumed
I
it.
already know. I
Brother
already
Let's
Kale.
know.
just try and keep this intelligent and not
Yeah, I don't
I
know if
already
excessively
know.
emotional.
Kale, I can't hear you if you there, but we gotta.
Born,
No, I
can
was
I
gonna say
talk
something,
with
but
Tosh
you
and
know,
Lady D?
Sorry, just had to check. I wasn't sure if that was the real
Yeah,
Kel or yeah.
thank you, Lady D. You on top of it. Thank you, sis. For real.
okay. So how do we deal with trauma? Is that
Yeah.
what the question is, born?
We
Yes, sir.
don't.
How do men deal with trauma?
Well, first of all, to deal with trauma, you have to
We survive.
see an African psychiatrist. That's one thing you have to do in that, because unfortunately, the African mind, as well as what the Africans go through, 9 out of 10 times, the main mental health that African people go through is down to the unethical code of conduct of non-African people, unfortunately, right? So every African person who is suffering from mental illness or suffering in general, which we all do, should seek counsel in an African psychiatrist who understands how the African mind operates, how it absorbs information the African way in order for the African to function. The African should never go to a European psychiatrist or an Asian or a Middle Eastern, because, as I said before, the natures are completely different. Also, brother, is that we need to write things down. There's nothing wrong with going back to the ancient ways. What is it that causes anxiety? What is it that causes insecurity? And what is it that causes impatience? And what we should do is match them up to the things that will help us to control those three elements in order for us to succeed and get through life.
Well
Welcome,
said.
brother Kev. Greetings, bless up.
Well said.
I would sorry, Born, before you go on, brother Robbie, I beg you please jump back on, because I enjoy conversations, intelligent conversations with you. Please don't do me like this, Robbie, and get back on. Thank you.
I really like Robbie. Can I just pipe in here really quick?
Go ahead, Steve.
So I think a pertinent question to ask ourselves primarily is, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing to ensure not just our own mental health, but the mental health of others? Like, are we doing anything in our communities? Like, I started the men's mental health support group.
Right question in the first place.
Well, it's an important question, though, Stanley.
Okay,
just purely because we have to look out for our communities. And I don't want to see anybody die. I don't want to see, Black Americans die. I don't want to see Black UK men die, or women, or nobody. I don't want to see anybody kill themselves, like, at all.
Brother Steve, you have
a
community. You have community and institution to go to, Steve, or due respect to you. You can go to an institution where the philosophies of Darwin and the philosophies of those psychiatrists who base their knowledge on the Nile Valley achievements, but they remove spirituality and focus on psyche. You can go to an institution, whereas for the Africans, unfortunately, because we want to be accepted and integrate and don't build institutions, we cannot go to the institutions of the non-Africans, because unfortunately they have an agenda of practicing unethical code of conduct to exterminate the African mentally, physically, and psychologically. So you can go to your institution, whereas for us, we have to have our own institution. All due respect to you, Steve.
Yeah. I've gotten familiar with your guys' side of the argument, and I can understand why you would say that. I don't think we're that different. honestly. Just because I'm an atheist, it just means I don't believe in God. It doesn't mean I don't believe that you don't have a soul. It doesn't mean that I don't believe that there's a natural innate human drive to want to be the best and do the best for ourselves and our families. And I absolutely will agree with you that historically people who look like me have done some radically fucked up shit. And I don't know any stronger language than some radical fucked up shit. Too much to list, actually. And I think that's kind of I think that's evidence of how badly we've treated people that didn't look like us.
Steve, I got a question for you.
Can I just say? Okay,
I got a question for you,
I
Steve.
just want to make a point, just a quick one, regarding Steve and Kel's argument. Coming from the black perspective, right? I think in the UK we are massively overrepresented in mental health institutes, right? So I'm really big on prevention methods, right? Rather than when we get down to the road of having possible black institutes which support our mental health, right? I think we need to kind of educate ourselves. There is a bit of a shame culture when it comes to mental health and black people, where we don't discuss our mental health. We do focus as humans actually more on our physical health, going to the gym and eating healthily, but we don't take the time on our mental health, and that goes for black and white people. But this argument that Kel's bringing forward of black institutes to support or black professionals, I think there is a case there, right? But I think also the balance is to find the triggers that we have as black people that kind of direct us to these institutes, because we have got a massive issue with mental health, especially for black men, right? And I think financial literacy is a massive one. I was reading last year. I was reading some.
Oh, I'd 100% agree with you on that. Yeah.
Documents on the UK becoming a consumer country, so we consume a lot, and black people, we tend to buy. I don't know about everybody else, but sometimes we tend to buy to make ourselves feel better about things, and we are heavy consumers. We are. I mean, people can disagree with me on this possibly, but I think we consume heavily. I know I knew shit for you, Mike, but the reality is we do.
I'm only joking, sis.
Okay, no worries. The thing is, right, and when we consume, and this country, the UK, it is a country that relies on debt. let's be clear. Yep. So I think a big issue is a lot of black men feel the pressure of having to be financially responsible at times. This is the argument that black men don't necessarily, not take on responsibilities.
Yo, Tash, can I ask you a question though about what you said?
So I didn't want to take Steve and Kale away from their discussion, because I kind of just.
I know, but remember, it's a whole room of people,
All right, sorry.
Like, I want to ask you a question, because I liked what you said, and I think it's very important. I think what Kel said,
No.
Can't hear him.
Oh man, I think he lost connection.
Yeah, but I was just going to say that I think it's very important as well that we have these conversations, especially the black community. No disrespect to Steve. I mean,
the mental health.
There's big issues. Oh, sorry. Go on. Sorry.
Did you hear what I said?
No, you lost connection.
Do you believe what? Sorry, Shifa? Shifa, you're going to have to jump in, jump out. And Steve, I know that you guys have big issues with drug use and that kind of issue. White men in particular. There's suicide issues for white men. I know that's a major problem for you guys, but I think for us, we have a number of issues.
Hey Tash, can you hear me now?
Stanley, I'm going to say, Stanley, can I just say, if you don't feel yourself, you should probably, take a break.
Hey Tash, can you hear me now?
Drug use part.
Yo, Tash.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go on.
Do you believe at all that black men's mental health is being targeted at all?
Oh gosh.
I think racism plays a role in mental health, 100%, right? I don't think it's reflected in our prison system. I think there is arguments for that, right? Racism itself.
All right, so if we know that to be a case, if we know that to be the case, then Tash, if we know that to be the case, then a lot of this mental health might not be entirely down to us. It might be down to other people pushing mental health issues onto us and
Well, Shifa,
enforcing
you know,
their
you know,
falsified information onto us.
but Shifa, I mean, also we need to take accountability as well, because a lot of the time we're told, you know, just get on with it, brush it off. You know, in our family homes, right? Do better than, you know, the white man does,
I
because
wasn't
we've got
told.
to do better. No, I think most homes are told, you know, brush off. Okay, that's an issue. Just brush it off and get on with it, right? And that means we're internalizing negative thoughts, negative attitudes, and that does
Tash,
play
I
havoc
wasn't
on your
told
mental
that.
health. So you
It's
weren't
never
told to do
happened in
better.
my home.
So hold on,
No,
Shifa, so hold on, Shifa. You're telling me that you weren't told just to get on with it when it came to like racist moments. So you were you were able to work on your kind of issues with racism.
in my home where I come from, no one was ever told that. Nobody was ever told that in my home. Maybe in your lot's home, but not in mine.
So you
But I
so
can't
hold on,
speak for
because
everyone
we
else. I
will.
can only speak for my home.
But Shifa, the reality is, right? Okay, maybe it didn't happen in your home. Maybe there wasn't that conversation. But the majority of us were brought up to be told to get on with it, and work harder, and just brush off, because they were brought here having to do that. Originally, we're only like 2 or 3 generations down.
My grandparents weren't brought here.
Yeah, but Shifa, they came here, and there's institutionalized racism that took place, right? I don't even want to have this discussion with Shifa, to be honest with you, because I'm unsure that there's going to be transparency in this discussion. So I'm just going to let Stephen Kell.
I hear you, but I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. My
So
grandparents
Shifa,
weren't brought
all right,
here by
Shifa.
no one.
So
They
Shifa,
paid
how
their
did they
way
deal
here.
with
They
racism?
paid their taxes and paid.
Sorry, Shifa, everyone paid taxes. I don't know what point you're trying to make. The
I was
point I'm
with me, and
trying
my
to
granddad was around. My granddad's gonna beat you up. My granddad, 1 second, sis. If my granddad was around and a man was racist to me, my granddad will punch them up. He will knock them. He will knock you the fuck out.
Okay, well, that's
How
traumatic.
we deal with racism.
Hold on. That's a traumatic moment, right? That's a traumatic moment, and eventually that may play havoc on your mental health, because it's aggression.
I wasn't traumatized.
No,
No,
I'm
I wasn't
talking about your
traumatized
granddad.
because
Hold on, Shifa. I'm talking about the person that was involved in that moment. So a moment of aggression.
no, my granddad wasn't traumatized.
But how do you know that?
He weren't traumatized
How do you know that? Are you your granddad?
at all. They don't just say stuff to you, you know. They would try and physically do you something or cause you some type of harm.
Shifa,
So what my granddad would do, he would knock somebody out before they believe that they can cause us harm. And then they'll know if you try and cause.
Okay, Shifa, that's what he's doing in the moment. The point I'm trying to make
Always
is
get, not with my family.
Okay. Shifa, I think you're missing the point, right? I'm trying to have a conversation with you. The point I'm trying to make, right, is an aggressive moment is going to play havoc on your mental health later down the road, when you have that time to sit down and reflect on life. No, Shifa, don't tell me no. Hold on, Shifa. Shifa, don't tell me no, because I've seen and I know this. This is
but you said your life, as in me in particular.
No,
you're
I'm not
aiming at
talking
me,
about
and I'm
my
saying
life.
no.
No, Shifa, I'm saying in my kind of the capacity of the kind of work that I do, right? This is a real thing. It's not a joke.
In your life, in your life, and in people who live by the system and believe the system is the way forward and can save them, but for my life, no.
But
no, it doesn't affect me like that. No, no, sis.
Okay,
no.
Can anyone hear what I'm saying, or is it just Shifa that can't hear what I'm saying? Maybe
No, I
I
can't.
can hear you.
I think everybody on the panel is intelligent.
I can hear
That's
you,
what I believe.
Robbie, okay, that's another moment of my.
How
No, I'm
can you
being serious. I
ask
think
this
everybody's
question?
brilliant. I just think we're all passionate, and sometimes it just comes out like that, you know?
Shifa's not listening to what I'm saying.
I'm disagreeing.
No, it's not a
I'll
disagreeing
give you
kind of thing.
examples.
Shifa,
I'll
it's
give
not a
you examples.
disagreeing.
One of the mental illness that we're facing is unsynchronized languages and unsynchronized things that we say. That is a big mental illness. Why is it a big mental illness? Because, right, all due respect to Steve, right? I'm sure Steve is a nice guy. And
Steve is the smartest person on
for a
this
long
planet.
time, right? But the problem is, right, is that Steve right?
is the smartest person on this panel. Respect him.
No, I'm not, man. I love you, man. I love you, but I'm not.
Yeah, Stanley, you
Stanley got
going
those
overboard.
Gucci Man ad
Yeah,
libs.
for real, Stanley, you going over. Yeah, for real, Stanley. Now you going overboard. Like Steve is cool. He's cool.
I'm not that drunk.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
think
about
Steve
being that
is
drunk,
smart.
man, but sheesh, Stanley, god damn, you gonna
Why don't
it's
you
white
listen?
Jesus. Are you describing white Jesus or Steve? What the fuck is going on?
Sorry, can I just be clear with
You know, that's so disrespectful.
Sorry, Stanley, can I just be clear with Shifa? Shifa,
Yes,
aggression,
Josh.
right? Aggression.
Lady D.
Oh my
But
goodness.
y'all
Stanley,
Let
like
her
please.
speak,
Steve.
Stan. Stan, let her speak, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Shifa, constant aggressive moments eventually will take its toll on your mental health. It doesn't.
I disagree.
I'm not talking about the moment. Eventually, it will take its toll on your mental
I
health.
disagree.
No, it's
I
not.
disagree, sis.
There's no
I
agree or
think
disagree.
sis. Now there is a degree of disagree, sis. I think that because in most men in this very feminine world we're living in don't have a lot of aggressive moments, they become feminized. And we need that aggression. We need it to actually feed our masculinity to make us real men.
Are you guys from the UK? I have one
That
question.
is such a
You guys are from the UK. I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I ask my question? Do the police over there not carry guns? And how long has it been that they haven't carried guns? Has it been like 40, 50 years? Because I think that adds to like trauma and no trauma in terms of police brutality.
They haven't.
But they're very aggressive though. The police are very aggressive though.
See, I could get away with punching a white man in the UK, but I try that over here, I'm gonna look like Swiss cheese when they call the cops, and then I might have trauma.
You probably won't get on with a white man over here either.
One
Y'all
of the
think
biggest
black
problems that we
people
face.
are this way.
Reborn.
Hey, I know one thing. Hey, check this out. I know one
Reborn.
thing.
Yeah.
Reborn.
Hey Tash, I do
They
respect
have
what you say
bobbies
though.
over there.
I'm just
The
giving you
bobbies
my
don't carry
version.
guns.
If you feel aggression is the
Yeah.
main
Man, come on,
leadership
come
tool
on,
for a
come on,
man
come
to
on,
be a
Hold
man,
on,
Yeah.
brother Born.
you are sadly
come
mistaken
on,
on that.
come on.
Aggression
You
isn't
could say that, yeah.
aggression isn't the number one leadership tool to be a man and to lead yourself as a man. Okay.
I wouldn't say it's the number one leadership tool, Tash,
You should
but I
have
would
that in
say
your.
but Tash, listen, I would say to you, it is definitely a necessary component. And once we eliminate that component, what we're doing is we're making effeminate men. These men are no longer men.
You're normalizing moments of racism where your grandfather has had to respond, right? And for me, for what your granddad had to go through is unacceptable. But we have a tendency, especially our community, to normalize things that are not supposed to be normal.
That's not what I'm doing, Tash. That's not what I'm doing,
Hold
Tash.
on.
Tash, that's not what I'm doing
That's not
at
what a
all.
white man
What
has
I'm
to go
saying
through.
is,
Why do you
forget
think a
about the
black man has to
racism.
go through that to be a man?
Tash, forget about the race. Tash, forget about the racism, yeah? Men need to have a certain amount of aggression to be men.
No, because a
Without
lot
that
of men
aggression,
go through life
Tash,
without having.
Tash, please let me finish.
A
Yeah.
lot of men go
Now
through
let
life
me
not
no
having to do that.
Tash, relax. Listen, I respect you as
I'm
a sister,
gonna have
Tash.
to
But
interrupt.
Tash, you have to
Yeah.
understand that I respect you as a
No,
sister.
he's wrong.
You're not a man. Yeah. Now let
doesn't
me
matter. I've
explain
lived
something to you.
I've lived with a man
Tash, you may
many
live with
years,
a man, but you'll
Shifa.
never be one.
It
Tash,
doesn't
you
matter,
will
Shifa.
never ever be. Tash, listen to
Shifa,
me.
it
You will
doesn't
never.
matter.
Tash, relax 1 second. Hear me
It's
out.
not
That's
gonna
the
be
whole
You will
point.
never.
You don't
Tash, I
have
know,
to
but
be a
hold on,
man.
Tash. Relax 1 second. Let me hear my point, and then you can hear your point afterwards. All right. Now, you will never ever be a man. No matter what you say in this conversation, you will never be right because you will not know what's right for me. I know what's right for me. I know
Shifa,
what
you're
works for
not
me.
gonna tell
I know
me
what
a
works for
wife
a
who's
man.
been with a man
Now
for
I'm
many
gonna
years.
go on mute. Now, Tash, I'm gonna go on mute and I'm gonna listen to your point without interrupting you. Go on.
Shifa, the audacity for you to tell me what who and what a
The
man is when I've lived with
audacity.
a man who's led his family. I've had a father who's had a wife for many years and had a family. You are not going to tell me what a man and who a man is. I'm telling you this now. I wouldn't go down this road with me, Shifa, if I were you. I can be a
I
woman,
would.
but hold on. I can be a woman.
Yeah, y'all don't want to go down that road because I'm gonna
I can
sound like
be
a
a woman,
coon in
but
a
I
minute.
have had a
Let
man
Tosh
in my
talk,
life for many years where he has led a family,
please.
where he has directed me in a certain way that has allowed me to be a woman. So Shifa, mind what you say. Okay,
Tash,
be that person.
Tash, are you a man? Are you a man?
Did you just hear what I just said, Shifa?
I heard you,
Damn,
Tash, but I'm
y'all
asking you a question. No, but Tash, hear my question. Hear my question, because I'm asking you for a reason. Are
Did you just
you
hear what I just
a
said,
man?
Shifa? Did you just hear what I said, Shifa? He
I
allowed
heard
me.
you, but it's
He allowed
irrelevant.
me.
Tash, what you
Hold on,
said is
Shifa.
irrelevant.
Shifa.
What you said,
He
Tash, I listen to
No.
you without interrupting you, you know. I listen
Okay,
It's
to
a
you without
no-brainer.
interrupting you,
Men
Tash.
need
Now,
aggression.
let me
Tash,
finish
Tash,
you, Shifa.
Tash,
What a woman
Tash,
to say
Tash,
is a
hold on, I'm not
man?
finished. I'm not finished. I'm not
You've
finished.
never been
Respond
married.
after I'm finished, yeah? Tash, first and
No,
foremost, you're not a man. You'll never be a man. And no matter how many
she
men you
is a
know, no matter how
woman.
many
Did
men you
you
Then
have
I
not
know.
know
experienced.
that?
Now, hold on 1 second, Stanley. Yeah? No matter how
What
many
are you feeling
men you
like
have
that, Shifa?
experienced.
You're
No, I was talking to
discussing a
Stanley. I
woman,
took it to Stanley.
Chill out.
a
Stanley,
black
please
woman.
stop. Stanley, please stop, bro. Yeah? No matter
Oh,
how many men you know, Tash, yeah, you'll never
No,
be a man and you'll never be able
bro.
to
If you
speak
listen,
on.
hold on, bro,
Tash,
bro.
can I
My
finish? Can I
God.
finish,
Nah, he's not
please?
gonna
Can
he's
I
not gonna
finish?
let
Tash,
me
Born
finish.
rich.
for real.
Born rich.
For
Born
real.
rich. Come
For
on,
real.
Y'all
bro.
Hold
gonna
on.
make me do it.
Yeah,
Y'all
hold
gonna
on,
make me
guys.
do
Now
it.
for real,
What
Tash.
do you mean
Fucking
no?
do
Like
it.
you live with a woman
Tash.
for longer than 15 years.
I
Tash,
will
you
Don't
gotta
fucking
let
tell
Yeah,
me
him
nothing,
finish.
Shifa.
Ah, that's
yeah,
crazy, Tash. You was just talking
yeah.
about the audience, Tash, and then you jump on it, and then you do the same thing
Don't
that the.
try it, Born. You asked
So
me to
It's
say
It's
not
very
even
something,
that.
and I'm
unsynchronized
here now.
behavior.
Damn, man.
Shifa's
Very
talking his crap about
unsynchronized
me not
behavior.
being a man. Who
Can
said
I
But
I'm
you're
not a
finish,
not a
man?
please,
man,
Tash?
Tash. What are
Hell
you
with this
talking
no,
about, Tash?
please
synchronization.
let her
Who
You're
said I'm
not a
not
Release
a man,
those.
man,
Shifa?
Tash.
It's
Oh
very
Shifa,
my
what did
God,
you
Born
unsynchronized.
rich.
say?
I'm going on
When
mute,
did I
man.
say I
I've had
wouldn't be a
enough.
man?
milk. I
It's
will
very
hear
You all know,
what
you
unsynchronized.
he's
all know,
talking about.
women can't be a man, and man can't be a woman. Yo,
Yeah,
there's a
that's
lot of
it.
times, yo. Listen, I understand what Shiv is saying. You gotta have a certain amount of aggression, but there's points in time, yo. I wanted to flip the fuck out, and you know who stopped me? My wife stopped me. And you
I
know what she
agree.
probably stopped me from getting involved in? No,
100%.
you know what she probably
You
got. You
have
know
a
what she probably
woman.
got me. You know what she probably stopped me from getting involved in? Either get my ass kicked or going to jail.
She wasn't
So
interested.
See,
you do
that
need,
was emotional intelligence. My point. That's
listen,
exactly what I'm talking about.
you
Why
do need
would
that woman sometimes to be like, hold up. And there's a lot of times she said, go and get him.
no?
You know what I mean? A lot of times she said, go in on this motherfucker. So
Come on.
there's times and points where you got to make a like he said, you got to mentally make a decision. Should I go in on this person
You
or should
have
I
to
back
make
off?
good
But it
decisions.
sounds like your woman's making the
Because
decisions,
look, the
my brother.
times that I
Hey,
It
but
really
sounds
this is
like
what
your
I'm
want
saying,
woman's
bro.
making the
Let
decisions.
me
I can only
respond.
speak from the U.S.
Born, you
perspective,
said
right?
stay on the
You
panel. This is
can
the
man,
and
conversation
let me
about
talk.
enter.
men. If you don't
Oh my
want
goodness,
women
man,
to
I can't
talk
even.
about their opinion on men, you shouldn't have asked me to stay on the panel.
No,
Shifa,
it's not that. But if he asks you, Tash, are you a man? Like that's
what
a
do you mean? What
simple
kind
No,
of question
question.
he's
is that?
not a
If,
But
if
man.
hey,
he's taking the
Born,
piss,
this is the problem
yeah,
though.
but
This is the
Shifa, what I
problem
mean,
though.
Born, what kind
And
of
I
question is that?
and I'm a good listener. Look,
Why should I
at
even
least
entertain Shifa with
Well,
that
you
hold
kind
on,
of
hold on.
shouldn't.
question?
You
This is the
shouldn't.
issue. Because see, this is
Can
That's
how
you
why
let me
we
look,
finish
talk.
talking
You know what
freely,
I'm saying?
though? Let me
this
Shifa,
talk
is
you
how
freely,
want
and
to
I'll
stuff
play
let
your
you
is
That's
little
talk.
changing
that's
to
game?
some
why we
manosphere
Shifa,
stuff.
Very
It's
Shifa, you're
about
unsynchronized.
gonna
to
play
change
your
it
little
to some
game with me.
manosphere
Very
stuff, man, if we're not
I am
unsynchronized.
on
careful.
that manosphere stuff, though. I am on the
Bingo.
manosphere stuff.
Now,
And
okay, so
Shifa,
let's
Very
talk
right,
about men then. Let's
why
talk
unsynchronized.
obviously,
about men
if
then.
I'm not allowed to talk freely, then I won't talk freely, bro. You talk for
then
me, Rob.
shut
Go
up.
ahead.
I'm
You're
not here to
not
Shifa.
talk
But
for
that
you, but I
smart.
had a
Brother
point
Shifa,
to make.
Bond,
Shifa, when's
Brother
your
Bond, this
successful
is very
relationship over 15 years
unsynchronized
for
in
you to tell me
behavior,
that
brother
you're a
Bond.
man?
Okay,
I'm a
Please,
Tash,
man.
we're
what
not
brother,
here
is
talking
going
about
on?
need
relationships.
order,
This
brother.
ain't about relationships, Tash.
It
So
is,
get your
because you
knickers
got
out
to
of a
be that
twist.
man
This
before
is
you
not
talk to
about
me about being a
relationships,
man. Because
Tash.
a lot of you are not
This
even.
is
I
not
built this
no.
shit,
A lot of you are.
me, brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk. Drive, motherfucker!
Let's see
So let's get it.
dumb
Let's get it
hair.
right.
Okay,
Let's
can I
get it
talk,
right.
man? I haven't spoken in a
Reset. Nope.
while.
Nope. Nope. Nobody's
Yeah, you
talking
go ahead,
except
bro.
me. Nobody's talking except me. Let's get a reset,
Go
man.
born.
For real. Like, we are all adults here. Nobody's on this panel is under fucking 20 years old. And we acting like this, man. We just yelling and nobody can talk. And this person has a personal beef and they want to talk over this person. What the fuck are we doing, man? We cannot keep like, come on, y'all. Like, for real, man. For
Hey,
real.
Boom, can I
If
talk
you don't like,
freely?
no, I just said, if y'all didn't hear what he said in that clip, who gives a damn if you don't like the way another nigga talk? Who gives a fuck
Exactly.
if you don't like what this person said? So what?
I
Let's
didn't
find
stop her
an
talking though.
intelligent way. Schiffer, you still just yelling, brother. You the only one. Everybody else muted Schiffer, and you just yelled twice.
Sorry, I'm
In
gonna
the
go on mute.
middle of
Go
it,
on.
that's the third time, and then you said sorry. So that's 3 times you done interrupted what I said just because you want to say something. And that's the problem, Schiffer. There's 10 people on this panel. Everybody wants to say something. But if Schiffer says, "Hey, I think this should be dealt with from a man's perspective," and I want, and before you can tell us why, everybody's saying, "Oh, fuck that, I disagree. Fuck that, I disagree." And then come on, bro, we don't get anywhere. So we have to have some fucking discipline. Y'all wilding, man. Everybody, most people on this panel got jobs. You would never do that at your job.
Exactly.
You would never just every 5 minutes say, "No, I disagree with that."
You're not gonna like that.
No, I wouldn't disagree. I disagree with that. No, hold on. And then or Stanley would say this, man. Stanley would never do this in the middle of a war mission. Man, you're not gonna like this in a slurred voice. Come on, brothers. Come on, guys.
Nah, I'm as bad as.
You see, Stanley would never do this in a fucking what they call it, a wormhole with 10 other soldiers. When you got AK-47s in your hand, Stanley would never say, "I'm just as bad."
Yeah, but Paul, do you think?
Hey, you know what? You know what they call it? You know what they call it?
It's a foxhole,
Do you
yeah.
think it's appropriate that
Casualties
Schiffer
of
asks if
war.
you're
That's what they
not a man
call
or a
him.
woman?
Yeah,
that's what they call him, a casualty of war. Because
So we
somebody
would
on
never
his
do that,
squad
guys.
gonna probably shoot his ass.
Hey,
Say his
hey,
ass
Born.
the hell up.
But hold on, Born. Do you think it's appropriate that Schiffer asks me and says to me, "You're not a man. I'm out of the conversation"? What kind of thing
I
is
know,
that?
but Sister Tash, right? You got to
man.
understand that there's a language that's been used, right, which unfortunately will create gender wars. It's whether we like it or not. There's a certain language that if you use that language, it creates gender wars. So we got to understand, right, that for example, asking brother Schiffer, right, that he's how he behaves is aggressive, right? It's only going to trigger him to say unsynchronized things because it was an unsynchronized dialogue to say to him. Unfortunately, I know you probably don't want to hear that. I'm only speaking the truth. Just like, for
Can I
example,
respond to that? Can I respond to that, Kel?
hold on,
Oh,
brother.
go on,
Hold
you're
on,
done.
brother. Hold on,
I'm
brother.
gonna be honest with you, brother. I'm tired of you talking.
Just like when brother
I'm tired of
brother
you too.
Robbie, just like when brother Robbie is on a panel, right, in front of a European man and saying that we can understand why you get called monkeys.
Hey,
See?
all I was
Who is the most
Hold on. Right.
Y'all
all I
still
was just saying
interrupting
is
each
that
other
Schiffer
on
was
some
aggressive.
Hold on.
bullshit.
I gotta go. I gotta get some sleep.
Just like
Everybody.
Stanley.
Yeah, but
I love
I
all
was
you
just
guys,
saying Schiffer
but
was
Just
I
like
aggressive.
gotta
I was
bounce.
saying,
just like brother Stanley, right? We hope that
Yeah,
I'm about to jump off too. This
brother
right here is
Stanley,
here.
bullshit.
brother Stanley is on a platform, right?
No, I'm dumb.
Behaving in a way like he did last night.
I am
We will
dumb.
never do that on the European
You
podcast,
prove
a
me
Middle Eastern or
wrong.
Asian
That
one.
is your
It
job.
returns back to our mental illness of unsynchronized behavior. And we're never going to get rid of it unless you organize and politicize your mind. That's how you're going to solve your mental illness. But we are very unsynchronized right now because we have too much ideologies of the non-Africans. Facts.
Facts. Hey, I see where you went with that. That's facts.
Can I respond now? Is that okay? Yeah. So what I want to say to you is, Kel, yeah, I agree with you, bro. I actually agree with Kel on this, yeah. So we don't always have to disagree. I'm not always disagreeable. But you know what? I'm agreeing with you on the pretenses that, bro, I'm not a sheep. I'm a shepherd, bro. I'm the one who does the synchronizing. If you ain't in sync with what I'm telling you, bro, then you out of sync with what's actually right, bro. What's
Come
actually
on, Schiffer.
intelligent,
Who
bro.
are you, Schiffer? A prophet? We're all wrong. Everybody
can
is
I just
wrong.
say that
We're
I
human,
wasn't saying that
Schiffer.
Schiffer was
So
aggressive. I
everybody's
was
going to
saying
have a moment where they're wrong. Go ahead, Tash. Go ahead.
I was just saying I wasn't saying that Schiffer was aggressive. What I was saying is when we go through racism, we internalize negativity, which plays havoc on our mental health. And Schiffer said, no, that's you. And then this whole thing about you're not a man. Schiffer, you're very disrespectful, bro. You are very disrespectful, and you have this kind of point scoring debate kind of way of behaving that is very uncomfortable for me. And I'll be honest with you, if you're going to continue with that, I'd rather not talk with you because I want
Okay.
discussions and not this kind of point scoring debate, because these topics for me are very important and I'm not going to play around with them with you.
Okay. Can I respond? Now, I'm going to say this to you, Tash. When I said to you that you're not a man, that's a fact. It's not disrespectful, unfortunately. And secondly, Tash, I'd say to you that this is how men interact with each other. And obviously, you being a woman, you may not understand that. You may not understand where my position is held. So I totally see where your point is coming from. And I do respect your womanhood. I respect you as a human being. But I need you to understand something, Tash. You can't tell me as a man how men are supposed to behave, because that's what women keep doing. And it's very, very frustrating. Me as a man can deal with my manhood with other men and discuss my manhood with other men, and we can work out what works best for us as
Did
men.
Shifa just hear what I said? I never said anything about a man and a woman. I talked about internalizing racism and that playing havoc on your mental health. Bro, you
Sis,
have
See,
to
protect
do
your
But
Born
you know
opened
what
up
it
the
energy,
is,
panel
though?
to
You
Tash.
know what it
everybody,
is,
though.
though? Some
I
people
Born
want you
always
to
opened up
gotta.
the
Tash a
Some
panel to
people
second.
always
everybody.
gotta talk about everybody's point.
Tash,
Sometimes,
protect your
sometimes
energy,
what you
sis.
think,
Big piece
sometimes
of
what you think
advice.
shouldn't always be said. Sometimes you need to just shut the fuck up and listen. What I notice about you, Shifa, every time somebody say something, you gotta have a point on saying something about what they said. Sometimes you
Bingo.
need to just shut the fuck up and just listen. But every time you
Okay.
have a thought in your head, you want to interrupt somebody and spew your thought. And Tosh is right. It's like, how can I have a conversation with you when you're not even seeing where I'm coming from? You want me to only see where you coming from. And after
I
that, man,
am
I'm
seeing
out
where
of here,
she's
man.
coming from, though. I am seeing where she's coming from, brother. And I'm going to repeat what I said again. No woman can tell me what a man is supposed to be. Yeah. And this is what women have been doing to us for generations now. And I'm sick of it, bro. I'm going to be a man and I'm going to listen to the advice my father gave me. Yeah. The advice my father gave me is that men and women are different. Now, if Tash, if you believe that you're internalizing racism and you have that issue, I'm going to say to you, I believe I don't have that issue. I believe I deal with any issue that's put in front of me. And by dealing with it, I'm not internalizing it. I'm going to go back on mute.
I got a question for brother Shifa.
Oh
See,
my God.
Shifa, tell me
See,
something.
that's the
When you go
thing.
into
The
when
question
you
for
went into
brother
the shop,
Shifa.
right, and the
This is the
black
thing.
security
So
guard was watching you, following you around the
Can I
shop,
just make a comment
did
real
you
quick, guys? I
internalize
don't
it, or
think I'm
what
ever.
did you do? What did you do when the black security guard watches you in the shop as a black man? When you come into the store and he's watching you walk around the store, you internalize that. You don't even understand what I'm talking about. This is
I do.
beyond
What is
your
what
pay
I
grade, to
do
be honest with you.
understand.
And
I
I
do
I
think
got a
you should
understand what
question
you're
for
talking
brother
about,
Shifa.
fall
actually.
back. I was going to
tax
swear,
you with this shit.
fall back.
Brother
Seriously.
I
Shifa.
You
do
really
I
don't have
do
it in
actually
you.
understand. Hold on, let me reply because she's talking to me. I do understand what you're talking about, and now you're questioning my intelligence. I've not questioned your
I'm
intelligence. What
talking
I've
about
said to you,
internalizing
now you're
racism. I'm
interrupting
talking
me
about me
again. You're
telling you,
interrupting me
bro,
again.
this
All
Gosh,
right,
what are
black
cool.
you
Go
doing,
ahead.
man
sis? Sis, stop giving
has
this guy
Go
your
ahead.
fucking energy, sis. Like, allow him. Can you not see what's going on?
Go ahead.
Like,
And
my
that's
last
allow
the
him to
comment.
thing.
Today
talk.
I had to
So
If
tell a
Born
man
wants
how
to
to be
have
a
Tash,
him up
man.
here,
Tash,
no,
Tash.
Tash. Big and
That's the
serious. If
thing,
Born
Tash.
wants to have him up here, fucking mocking the thing, running the muck all over the panel, talking over. Let Born do his thing, but sis, stop fucking entertaining this fool. He's a clown. Stop.
So I'm the one attacking people, but people are calling me a clown.
Yes, he
Yeah,
is.
I'm the one
He's
attacking
the main
people.
Hit it
one
right
I'm the
there.
one
interrupting
attacking
everybody
Well,
else
people.
too.
I
I'm
He's
the
the
one
think
main
what
one
it
attacking
is
attacking.
people.
I think here's the issue.
I,
Here's the
I,
issue
go ahead.
respectively.
Go ahead.
This is a restaurant and you're critiquing the menu. See, this is Bourne's channel. So he didn't say it was going to be men only. You know what I mean? So since everybody came on, we had a white dude come on, we got females here. So now we got an understanding that the audience now is going to be a little bit of everybody. So even if we personally feel like women shouldn't chime in, we got to deal with the reality that women may chime in from time to time. And that's all I was saying earlier. I think everybody here is
And they're
brilliant.
what we
But
want.
but the thing of it is, see,
I
like
never
right
said
now,
she can't
this is
chime
what
in.
I say. We don't have emotional intelligence, man. Everybody cuts
I,
each other off. And then when I
brother,
say that word, that probably may trigger people, but that has nothing to do with your brilliance. But I will say this, it's right. The
yep,
brother was right. We do
brother
need to have
Robbie.
aggression and we do need to have passion, right? But I ask myself this, and this is the
Yep,
critique we get now in 22
I
now from
would
black
bet.
women. This is the critique we get now. Okay, we've had too much of the toxic aggression and
Yep,
vibrato, right? But we
yep.
haven't been
It
slaying it in
was
the physics
never the
classes.
right
We
thing,
haven't been slaying it
but
in them chemistry
Stanley,
classes. And
Oh
this
yeah.
same argument that we're
Danny,
having
I
right
can't
now,
hear what Robbie's
some of our
saying.
ancestors probably had when the Europeans came with the Gatling gun. And who won? Aggression or emotional intelligence in that Gatling gun? And I will sit down now.
I'll say
Mm.
the aggression one, bro. And I'd say to you, brother, I'm quite happy
Really,
for Tash to
really. Who's
chime in.
aggression
And
then? Who's
bro, you're
aggression?
doing the same
Robbie,
thing
yeah,
that you
Robbie,
don't
Who's
like.
let him
aggression?
land,
You're
Robbie.
doing the
Yeah, Robbie, you
and
said
Tash
you was
done it to
putting the
me.
microphone down, brother. You said you was
All
putting it
right,
down,
thank you,
Robbie. So
bro.
let him go, man. You gotta let him.
Thank you, Born. So, like I was saying, I'm quite happy for Tash to chime in. Yeah. But if I'm going to have to listen to Tash's opinions on internalization, yeah, then Tash can also hear my opinions on internalization. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be led like a sheep. I'm going to give you the full interpretation that I have also. So obviously I'm not being allowed to talk freely. I'm not going to go back to my point with Tash because she don't want to hear it. Lady Divine's upset. I get it. So I'm gonna leave it alone.
Shifa, Shifa, let me tell you something. The day I have to tell a grown man how to behave and lead him, he's failed. He's not a man as far as I'm concerned. So
Fuck,
I
I
would
ain't
never want to
even-
lead you as a man, Shifa. I would never want to direct you on how to be a man. Okay, so I just want to make it clear to you. I think, to be a man, you should be leading your own life and directing your own life. So I don't know what kind of little thing you're trying to spin here.
Can
But
we
I
get
would,
Hold
back
on.
to the topic?
Yes,
yeah, I'm just,
absolutely. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Web
Okay,
Funk,
that's who
don't
I was
come with your
wondering. Was
little
that
rubbish
Web
here
Funk?
We
either.
don't need that. We don't need that.
Salute to you, Web Funk. Salute, Web
Web
Funk.
Funk,
How you
don't come
doing,
with
my
your
brother?
rubbish here either.
What up, bro?
How you doing,
Will the
man?
real
Let
men
me ask
stand
you.
up?
Look. Let me ask you, Web Funk. You come in my African brother, Web Funk. How do men deal with trauma?
Okay, so when you talk about men, you got to define what sort of men you're talking about, because we've all been through different sorts of trauma. When Steve came on and talked about his trauma, it's different from ours. It's different from the Chinese man, the
Let's
Hispanic
actually
man.
think.
It's different from so many
We
other.
don't
The
treat
Indian man.
women like they're different people.
Hold on, Stanley. I'll let you go next, Stanley. Go ahead, finish up.
It's so different. Like the where we've come from, generationally, is different from where they are at when they want to talk about trauma.
Can you give me an example of a different sort of trauma? What trauma did would I suffer from that Steve and Steve's people wouldn't suffer from?
Do I really need to do that?
Just for the audience, if you could, Web Funk.
Well, it's quite simple. I mean, there's generational trauma, there's historical trauma, and all the men are part of all these traumas, right? So when you talk about trauma with regards to men, you have to define what sort of trauma it is.
Okay, well said. So he's saying trauma
Your
is
trauma is not going to be the same as Steve's trauma.
Yeah, I
So
got you.
Web Funk, why
I
can't you
agree.
give examples? Because Born Rich has just asked you for examples and you're not able to give them. What's the
It's
examples
quite
of trauma for the
simple.
black
Like
man?
I said, it's historical, it's cultural, it's who's been subjugated to who, as far as ethnicity, culture, and history is concerned. Right?
Web Funk, do you notice when I
Somebody
talk about
in
my
the
trauma?
Caribbean has.
Oh,
Go on, what are you saying about the
Yeah.
Caribbean?
No, go on, Shifts.
No, I was saying, Web Funk, do you notice when I talk about my trauma and I talk about the fact that, there's a lot of women that want to dictate to men how to be a man, Like people
And this is
don't
my
want to
point.
hear it.
This is my point.
They don't want to
This is
hear it, bro.
exactly my point. And Tash, listen, with all due respect, Tash, with all due respect, please,
Sometimes,
if you
Tash.
look at the topic,
Sometimes, Tash,
of the
yeah, I'll
show,
admit it. Sometimes,
Come on, Shiffer.
sometimes.
Hey, come on,
Okay, well, I
Shiffer.
don't have issues with
All right,
men
come on,
being
Tash.
men.
Let's let Web Funk. Hey guys, for real.
I don't have issues with
No,
men
for
being
real, man. Fuck
men.
that. For real.
Which
For real.
part of dumbasses
Yeah. Hey, for
did
real,
I
y'all. Like
destroy?
for real. Come on, guys.
Born. I'd rather you
If
do
we
push
have
it.
Every
people,
man
I'm
on
not
this
insulting
panel
anyone.
Tash,
is
hit me up, Tash.
skeptical,
Tash,
Rich.
hit me
I'm
up.
not
Y'all are
insulting anyone.
Tash,
dumb.
stop. Just hit me
No,
up in
boy,
private.
tell Shipper to
Stop.
stop.
We'll talk about it in private. But if you got Wab Funk and Kale, and we have people on the panel that's trying to stick to the topic, why the fuck do y'all keep going back and forth with each other? Let's stick on the topic. We got panel members on here that want to talk about the topic. If somebody's bothering you, then it's cool, man. Fuck it.
No, it's not cool for Shipper to constantly do
Oh
that.
my gosh. Well, you done said
And I mean,
Shiffer's name
Tash, at the
17
end of the
times,
day,
man.
Hey,
Tash,
Born,
at the end of the
you've
day, this is
been
the
on this
time
panel for a
for
couple of
your
months.
men to shine. If you've got men that you are culturally associated to, this is the time for your men to shine. Let them have the conversation,
To shine.
right? Sit back, let them talk. Let them talk about what's
Sorry,
going on.
Radfunk, when I made my point, I made a point. I wasn't talking about men and women.
Why are
And
you
Shiffer's
making a point?
What's free to
You
put
aren't
time on
part
it
of
to
this
put
topic.
on. I don't think women should be on this panel. And I think you should make that
No,
clear.
or for all intents and purposes, be on the panel, but don't get involved. Sit back and let them talk.
Following the conversation.
But let me tell you how far. Hold on, Stanley, hold on, Stanley and
The
Kim.
black man's trauma
gotta
is
go,
the black
Nito,
woman's trauma.
chill, Nito, chill. Everybody chill. Everybody relax. I'm gonna tell you this though, Tash.
You don't go after.
Oh my gosh, man.
Did you hear
So
what
Tash, you know, if the topic
Hey, I want
was,
to point
let's
out
talk about
something
the
that's
black
really odd
women's
about
traumas. Yes,
No, don't worry. I gotta mute mics now. Now I'm muting everybody mic because y'all wilding. Y'all tripping. Now, Wab Funk does have a great point, Tash. Nobody has a problem with you being on the panel, but we are so far away from the topic. And when I'm trying to get back on the topic, you and Schiffer are dragging me away from the topic, talking about some shit. You don't want Schiffer on the panel, so now you're not even talking about the topic anymore. Every time you unmute your mic, you say Schiffer instead of how do black men or how do men deal with trauma. You're so far away from the topic that whatever Wab Funk says, you don't give a fuck. Whatever Brother Kale says, you don't care no more. So let's get back to the topic. Schiffer's just over there. Put Schiffer over there in his own little corner, and Schiffer quit blurting out. And
Born, I don't like what you're doing.
Can I say something
Born, I never
respectful,
said
Born,
you should
real
be
quick?
on this panel.
Guys,
You don't like.
I just want to say something respectfully before I get off the panel.
sticking on the
Born,
topic.
I
Born,
never
I'm just
said
talking
that
to
I don't
Born.
want Schiffer on this panel.
Born. I'm talking to Born, guys. Can I just speak to him real quick? Born, this is the whole point. Say we have the topic about men's trauma, and then Schiffer will bring up something about women being the source of men's trauma from his perspective. So then obviously the ladies are going to get triggered and somebody's going to chime in. That's what I've noticed. That's happened on more than one occasion. So my whole point is that I'm trying to tell you is you got some people with troll energy. And I've been on several panels and we've never had it break down like this. Every now and then everybody talks. And I had the same thing happen on this other channel I used to be on. There'll be one person that when they come on there, it's like they're the devil. They're just there to be a time wasting.
No, bro. Listen. No, bro. If Schiffer brings that up, it's a conversation between men. No. We're not doing that, bro. Listen.
I'm just telling you.
Schiffer can bring that up. This is a conversation about the topic.
You're missing the point when I'm talking about energy, my brother. If you boot
it doesn't mean that a woman should.
Robbie,
doesn't mean a woman should chime in.
You gotta let other people get their opinion out, brother. You said some people bring troll energy. We cool. We know that. Okay, some people bring troll
energy. And Sis Tash, this is nothing against you.
Funk, I was on topic. I spoke about internalizing racism and what it's done to black men. I wasn't off topic.
You see, Tash, you took it away from the subject.
Made it a men and women thing.
Tash, you took it away. Let the brothers have a conversation. There's a white guy that came in, Steve.
Steve and Kale had their conversation.
His idea of trauma is totally different from ours. We've got definitions to trauma too.
Did you not hear what I said?
No, Tash.
Making that
Tash,
point.
sit back, relax. Let the conversation happen.
Webfunk, the conversation happened. I made my point. You're trying to take Schiffer away from what he did.
It's okay.
Tash,
nobody's taking Schiffer away.
Sit back.
Nobody's taking Schiffer away from what he did. I want to hear Kale. I want to hear Brother Kale. I do. I want to hear Brother Kale.
Tash, sit back.
Let's go. Wab Funk.
Don't talk to me like that.
I want to hear Brother Kale.
Talk to your wife and your women like that. Okay?
Oh my gosh.
No. Tash, listen, look at the topic of the show.
No. You talk to your wife and your women like
that.
Look
at the show, Tash.
I want y'all to notice it's only UK people doing this too. This
Yeah,
shit like this.
that's
Shout
damn
out to
close,
the
man.
American
That
brothers that
is
stand
an
on code
interesting
and
point.
talking
Damn close.
how we
Exactly.
normally
Damn close.
do.
Nope, born rich.
But it's
Here we
getting
go.
weird. It's getting weird now. It's personal beefs is coming out on this panel, and my
Sean,
American
if
brothers
you
don't give
don't,
a
if
shit about y'all personal
No,
Ain't nothing
beef.
personal,
They don't know
brother.
about
We
your
need to talk
personal
about
beef,
this
Exactly.
man. They don't
amongst
know about that.
ourselves.
no,
So let me
man.
let Kel. I want to hear from Brother Kel, man. Go
Okay.
ahead, Kel.
His name's Wab Funk, right? I agree with him. What he was saying in regards to the natures, right, are completely different, right? Now, when you look at the European, what they go through and that, right? Unfortunately, because of their nature, what's happened in regards to how they've had to go about practicing on their unethical code of conduct to keep up with that particular deception and lie causes mental illness for them. When you read Thomas Jefferson in his autobiography, and I only read it for a political scientific way to understand certain things, is that majority of the time they were drinking. In slavery, they were the slave he was drinking. You know, when the European woman was beating the black kids and killing the African, they were drinking as well. So the drinking typifies of hiding the guilt and don't expose. Whereas when it comes to our mental health, brother born, because we do not understand racism properly,
May I ask?
scientific way,
What?
right? Because we don't understand it, we, as
Okay.
what you were saying, we internalize it in a very passionate way. Whereas if you don't have power, military power, you have to use
Wow.
political scientific strategies, right, to disarm the non-African that's practicing the unethical code of conduct. When you get the military, as what brother Robbie was saying before,
Oh
that's when
dear.
you can use the political science and military science. But because we don't have the power, it's very important that we do not react in a passionate way, but we should analyze it and deflect the energy and
Did you say
strategize
to
when it's coming
what?
from us, if that
Brother,
makes sense.
it's as simple as this. You look at something as recent as the opioid crisis that was going on in America, right? Our people in
No.
America went through the crack era, right? These guys took it
Let's
on as the
slow this
opioid
down.
crisis, and they put all these kids, all these white kids, that trauma that is opioids into
Yeah.
rehabs amongst rehabs nonstop. Yeah,
So
it was a
let me
problem for them.
verbalize this. Oh well, Funk. Let me verbalize this. So you're saying that it's hard for us black men to deal with trauma because I guess the solutions to trauma is ran by the white supremacist system. So I'm saying like all of our counseling, all
No,
of
it's the
our rehab for
definition of
something.
trauma for men. It's the definition of trauma for men.
Can I ask Kel a question
If the
quickly,
white people
Kel?
are saying
When you said
men
what
that
you
are
said
going through
about
the
military.
opioid crisis,
you're correct, fucking shifter. Go
All
on,
right.
Sorry,
let's
Webfunk.
continue.
Kel, you
sis,
see
you
what
don't
you were
need to
saying
do that.
about
Seriously.
military, yeah? Could we deem having a building our own military and fighting against
Shift. It's got
other
nothing to do with the military. It's about trauma.
No, Kel brought that up.
Just
No, Kel
stay on
brought that
topic.
up. No, we are staying on topic, but Kel brought up the idea of military might, yeah? Could that be deemed as aggressive?
What?
All wars, brother, they've always been fought with blood, unfortunately. All wars, right? What I was saying is, brother, is that we do not exercise military power, right?
So we
We
need to
are
be more aggressive then. Thank you.
That's a red
no, we need to
herring.
be
That's
more
a red
politically
herring. Because
scientific,
look,
brother.
at the end of the
We
day,
need to be more
America's has had
scientific, brother.
wars in countries in the Middle East and all this sort of stuff. These guys are coming to Western countries, whether it's the UK, whether it's the US, whether it's Australia, whether it's wherever it is, anywhere in Europe. These guys, the way they deal with that trauma is to open up a shop, work as hard as they can, do what they need to do. Listen, that's that's very commendable, but that's recent. The kind of trauma that we've been through as black people is different. It's different.
I'm just glad to hear
We've
that
gone
there's
through
one man in the room and
centuries and
two men in the room
centuries of trauma.
that agree.
You see,
This is
Shiffers
recent trauma for them.
interrupting
This is
again.
their paradigm. This is their paradigm. This is what they see as dealing with their trauma. And this is what the topic is about, right? How do men deal with trauma, right? You've got Indian people, Arabs, all these other people opening corner stores, corner stops, Hispanics, petrol stations, all that sort of shit. That's how they deal with their trauma, right?
So, Webfunk, obviously, I know that there's definitely some real men here because, you know, we've already identified that, you know, we can't relinquish our aggressive side because the more we relinquish our aggressive
See, I
side
saw he wants
and
to talk
take
about
on,
his aggression.
It's got nothing to
I'll
do
let
with
you
the
go,
aggressive
Tash.
side, bruv. It's about trauma.
This is also about intelligence and listening, because I never said anything about relinquishing aggression. I said aggression and intelligence,
I
i.e.,
wasn't
which
talking
is
about
why.
you.
Hold up, shut the fuck
And
up.
I
You
got
Which is
sure
cut
you
why
off.
the
ain't
Did I not
cut?
get
You
Gatling
cut
sure
gun.
off?
you right?
Which is why the
Right.
Did I
Gatling
not
gun
just get
is
cut off though,
always
bro?
about the Gatling
Did I
gun
tell anyone to
being
shut the F up when
aggression.
I got cut
Oh,
off,
yeah,
bro?
wow.
Yeah,
Hey,
bro,
Born
because I know
Rich,
you were
Born
talking
Rich,
about
you
Yeah, that's
recognize I
no,
right.
got
you
cut
was
off
talking
That's
about
first, you
me
right.
and
know?
you didn't listen to
Right.
interpret. You didn't
Brother
listen
Hold
to
Bond.
the line.
interpret, bro. It's
Hold
real simple. It
Shiffy,
ain't
you
rocket
interrupted
hold
science.
up.
Webfunk 3 times.
Did aggression and intelligence beat aggression when the Gatling gun just went against our ancestors? That's what we won't keep it. We don't keep it real, man.
Yeah, it did actually. Yeah, it did. That's why certain nations were never conquered.
Name
Bro,
one.
you see,
Wakanda.
you're going
Name
into
one. Name
he's
one.
going into religious shit.
Zimbabwe,
Skipper, you need
Zimbabwe.
to chill. Chill,
Yo, that
chill,
shit
bro.
was funny right
Chill.
there, yo. That Wakanda, that shit was funny right there.
Listen,
Yo, me and my wife
listen,
bust out laughing with
I
that shit.
know, man, because y'all keep
Because
saying that.
yeah, because which
Hey,
yeah,
y'all keep
name
saying
one.
it. Y'all
Yeah.
gotta
Name
stop
one.
doing that. Hey,
That shit was funny.
hell with your Wakanda
Robin,
I
shit.
you
can
were
name
funny
another
with
one
that
for
one.
you. I can name another one for you. The Fijians were never conquered.
No, don't shut up. Please, you fuck shit up all the time. Stop it.
See, Webfunk,
Look,
you came in
Webfunk, I
British
chicken
gotta
now.
go.
brothers
Now you're
build.
on the end of it.
Webfunk,
You
Webfunk.
came
Listen,
for two
I've
now,
got to
haven't you?
speak from my Webfunk. Is it fair for me to speak from
Gosh,
my
listen,
position,
I'm
or
man.
do I have to adopt
gonna
other people's
say
position? I'm
something.
asking Webfunk
You
that
know,
He's
question.
going to
What do you
you
think,
can
interrupt you
speak
You're
Webfunk?
the
about
from a
5 times,
dumbest
speak
and
without
I'm
motherfucker on
happy
speaking
earth.
for it.
about your religion, bro. Just speak from your
Why
personal
would
experience. That's all.
religion care?
There's a topic. There's a
It
topic.
is
Focus
a
on the topic.
So
ugly
Webfunk, now you know
picture
what I went
of
through.
how we
Okay.
Now you
are.
know
All right,
what I went
let
through.
me get in here real quick. Let me get in
Brother
here real
Bond.
quick. So,
Good.
brother Stanley, I want to come to my uncle, man. Uncle Stanley. Talk to me, Stanley. Do you think that
I
dealing with
need
trauma or the whole concept of trauma and the way we deal with trauma is racial?
Ghana Jacob
Yeah.
is the best person to talk about drama.
Why would you say
Oh
that,
no,
brother?
you
Yeah,
won't
he's
agree.
certainly he's very
But the
traumatized.
senior
But that's
chief
too deep.
is
The dude that just said that, that's too
African.
deep.
Brother Bond.
What?
Brother Bond.
Go on,
Senior
go on,
chief is
Kel.
too smart?
I will say, brother, that you
You're
have
not.
you have to be very careful, brother, because you
You're not.
got a great panel, right? A great platform,
You're not.
and unfortunately,
Senior
brother,
chief,
on
Ghana
with a very
Jacob.
serious topic, right? And yet still, the African descendants, brother, have so
African
unsynchronized
descendant brother.
and being triggered by a very
Dumb.
important topic that, although we're on the YouTube, brother, but this topic is happening as we're speaking right now, and the way how we've been behaving, right,
Oh,
is very
absolutely disgusting.
unsynchronized.
And you know,
And this
one
is
thing you
why,
said was
brother. Hold
the
Hold
on,
on,
hold
web
on,
punk,
brother.
web,
synchronization.
Hold on,
web
brother.
punk,
Hold
web
on,
punk,
brother.
Synchronization.
web
Hold on,
punk.
brother.
He
Hold
No,
on,
wasn't
because what
brother.
this
finished,
guy
brother.
said
Hold on,
is
He
brother.
wrong.
wasn't
Webfunk
finished,
has the
man.
Synchronization.
same issue as Schiffer. He
Oh
doesn't
my
know.
Hold on, brother.
God.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother born. So, unfortunately, brother, that just like last night, it seems that we as a people, right,
We as a
are not
people.
valued, and
Love that.
it's what we want and laugh. But brother, you will never get this on a European podcast, brother, an Asian podcast. They
European?
would never, brother. I want everyone to listen right now. They would never allow these things, brother. Do you think that you can go on their podcast and laugh about serious topics of when it comes to the economics and when it comes to rape and things like that? No, brother born, they would never allow. But on the African
Right, brother.
descent,
Refocus it and fix
There
it.
is a
Stop complaining
God of
about it. Refocus it and fix
Can
it.
I chime in?
I do. Let me
And we're the ones that's unsynchronized, right?
well
All
let
right,
me say this
cool.
though. So let me say this though. Fuck, man, because I always have to say this, guys. Like we have to take YouTube for exactly what it is, guys. It's fucking entertainment. It's people to come on and say what they want to say. Now, everybody on this panel has a way to reach me behind the scenes. If you guys truly want to build on some real shit, I learned a long time ago YouTube ain't really the place for it. Now you can meet people and build certain relationships, but YouTube still has to be entertainment. It's like I ain't gonna lie, brother Kel. It's
That's a
kind of
cop
no
out, brother
reason.
born.
It's not
That's a
it's not a
cop
cop
out.
out. It's no reason for me to have a YouTube stream and I come on here every day and talk about black cryptocurrency.
All right, let's stop monologue.
Nobody's gonna show up for that.
Let's keep the subject.
You understand what I'm saying,
going.
Kel? So if we really want to build on some nation building type shit, YouTube ain't the place, brother. You got direct link to me on Discord. We
All right.
need to use
Let's
those.
refocus.
Now, this
Let's
is to open up
refocus
the
and start it
conversation,
again.
but
no.
it gets weird sometimes, bro. You have different
See, one
personalities.
can't even
Hey,
discipline
Born, put the
himself
link
to
to your
allow Born
Discord,
to
man.
talk.
Hey, you can't destroy the forum though. The online forums are for people to come together to have discussions like this.
And
So
Born,
you
I don't
can't
agree
take
with
away.
Yeah,
that. I think
exactly.
YouTube is a
And
great
then you
place
We're
to
really
different
learn
people.
Let's
and
talk
build
about it.
it.
Let's talk about it.
and you will really see where people's minds is at. Yeah, I
Well, let
like
me
this.
say this though, but we're all different people. So you're gonna have some people come on here drunk. You're gonna have some people come on here on cocaine. Like we're just different people from everywhere. People are gonna
Don't do
come
that,
on
brother
here
born.
and have a
Listen,
Hey,
this is your
some
yeah.
people
platform.
are
Let's
hold on,
refocus and
listen.
start
Why
again.
is everybody
And you right,
yelling?
though.
Why I don't know why y'all interrupted me. I don't know why everybody just started yelling, man. Nobody showed
You're
discipline right
monologuing,
there.
brother.
I just had 4 people yelling at me. Nobody showed discipline right there. So you're gonna have different people that come on with different problems, different trauma, different way of life, different cultures, different
Or
upbringings.
different
It's going
ways to
to
live
all.
your
You see what I'm
life.
saying? Somebody else is blurting out right now. I don't know why people keep interrupting me, but somebody else just did it. And he's still doing it.
Look at
Whoever
Schiffer
that person
laughing.
is. The fuck, man. And what I'm saying is, we can't just say, "Hey guys, everybody on this panel should be one way," because it's not. It's Caribbeans on here. It's Kenyans on here. It's Africans on here. It's Southern Black Americans on here. It's Northern Black Americans on here. We can't come on and say
Right,
everybody.
born. You've got a topic. Let's tackle the topic.
Nah, Born, you know what you just proved, and I wish I could save this episode. Born, you know what
No,
you did
Born,
with
if
this
you're going to
panel
say that,
tonight?
I'm going to think twice.
You have
7 people. You see
unequivocally
that?
proven that we're the children of Israel because you're trying to talk like Moses. I had a picture in my mind of how he felt when they crossed the Red Sea,
You see
and
that?
everybody couldn't agree and they were arguing. Nobody would listen.
That's because you're
Brother,
monologuing,
I have a
born rich. You're
15-year-old
monologuing.
black boy.
Refocus.
Black.
Set the topic up again.
Brother born.
Born, that's a very dangerous
Hey,
thing
All
to
praise to
say.
the Most
Isn't it?
High.
Like, no.
But I'm trying
hey,
to say
Born.
all
We
these
are the
people.
children of
Set the
Israel,
topic
man.
up
Look at my
again.
picture.
Born. Can I chime in? This
he's
unpopular.
not the
All praise to the
children
Most High, my
of
brother.
You see
Israel.
that? You see what everybody do? Everybody
Yeah,
just want to
exactly. You
blurt out.
see?
Everybody on the panel just blurted out
Motherfucker,
right there. I just watched
if
everybody on the panel blurt out right there. But go ahead, man. I guess it's a free fall.
I
And
No,
then
don't
no, no.
y'all will
know
say,
Refocus it,
that
bro.
and then y'all will say my
Born
panel is
rich.
If
Born
terrible.
this
rich.
continues,
Refocus
I'm
it.
going to leave.
Be a
But then y'all
mediator.
would say I'm
Going too
and
far.
Tash. I don't know what you saying, sis, and I got a lot of love for you.
No,
But
don't
what I
disrespect me,
don't like,
Born.
no, I
Born,
don't like you.
no,
I
He's
don't want
not
threats.
it's not
disrespecting
Tash,
you.
true,
you have a
Tash.
direct link. You
Disrespect
have a direct private link to me, Tash. I
Do
don't
I
want
have
you
to
on this
bring out
panel
a
making threats, sis.
15-year-old
Please, we've
boy
already
to
talked about
No,
correct
that.
but
it?
Born,
Man, I don't
allow
I
want.
think
Don't
people
I
make
to.
a
think we
threat
need to
to me,
set
though,
up
Tash. You have
like
no reason to threaten me while
No,
you're on
hold
this
on,
panel.
Born. You can't
Man, this
tell me
shit
that.
Tash,
tacky,
you've got
man.
no
It's
reason
tacky.
to be
15-year-old
speaking
boy.
Man,
in this
stream over,
forum.
guys. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for
Don't do
tapping
that.
in, man. Nah, Stanley, it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. Fuck it, man.
It's
Y'all
not. It's
can't
not.
show no
Born rich.
decorum.
Born rich.
Trevor
I've been arguing. Nah,
Refocus.
well, funk. It's a wrap. It's a wrap,
Refocus.
guys. Nah,
You've
it's a
had
Hey,
wrap.
enough
Born
It's a
Rich.
wrap. Ain't
opportunities
no
to be
refocus. Y'all know. Hey,
Trevor
salute.
could
Thank y'all for tapping
benefit.
in. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button on your way out, man. Matter of fact, I'm a little upset because I don't like the like ratios, man.
Oh,
Let's
come
get them
Hey,
on.
likes up.
Born.
Nah, stop, guys. Stop, guys. Thank y'all. But thank
No,
all the panelists.
you're the
Hold
Thank
on.
last
all the
person.
panelists. Thank all you guys, man. You guys have been lovely and I really fuck with y'all, man. For real, I couldn't do this without y'all. I'll be 100. I couldn't do this without y'all. But I see tonight we're not gonna figure it out. So it's 2:14 it's 2:14 in the morning, guys. I don't have time to keep trying to figure this shit out. I've been trying to get a word in for the last 10 minutes, and y'all talking over me. So I know it's no possible way that I could even go to sleep tonight and expect Lady D to keep this panel running. So nah, bro. So before I go to bed tonight, man, I want to thank y'all for tapping in. Please get the likes up, man. Get the likes up, guys. We should have them likes up popping through the roof, man. It's good content. I'll come back when everyone has take a rest. You feel me? Everybody go to sleep. Come back, and we'll try this shit again tomorrow, man. And I love y'all. I swear to God, I love y'all. I'm not doing this to be mean. I don't. I even gotta say this, man. It's gonna be some people that's gonna say, man, I'm never going back to that channel. God bless you. God bless you. If you never come back, so the first time viewers and the last time viewers, God bless all of y'all, man. But it just didn't work tonight. We tried, but it didn't work tonight, man. It didn't. We'll come back. We'll try again when everybody has a better attitude and can show some decorum. Decorum. That's what we got to do. We got to start looking at the people who's constantly interrupting. And I'm going to tell you this, and don't become them people. Because I'm noticing a lot of people who tell me about these people who keep interrupting and fucking up the conversation. They keep coming back talking about, they start to become them people. So salute, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all are beautiful, man. And it's a dope panel. And this is a great community that we're building here, man. But we have to show some decorum. None of us, man. I want everybody on this panel go back and listen to this, man. This shit was horrible. Y'all wilding, man. This shit horrible, man. For real, man. Fucking tripping, man.
Ice cream, ladies and gentlemen.
It's for the people. That's the only reason you do it.
Now, what y'all gonna say? Huh? Now, what y'all got to say? Tash, what you got to say, Tash?
Okay, good. All right, calm down. All right, let's try again. Let's just try
That's
again.
love.
Please.
No, that's love. That's love.
Please.
You see, that's what I'm
Please.
talking about,
Try
though.
again.
That's love.
And I don't even want to be that guy, man, but I could easily
I
just be
know,
that guy
I
and say
know.
fuck
All right,
everything, man,
all right.
because,
But
man,
you
yeah,
need
I
to
mean,
do it,
Okay,
though. That's what you
Hey,
need to do. You've got the
what I
channel.
said. Let's just
Hey,
do
Born, I
short.
was gonna say fuck it too. All I want you to do is put your link to your Discord, man, because I'm on Discord, man.
yeah, and I don't
Nah,
want to be
fuck that
that guy,
Discord shit.
man, but we can't wild out. We just got
Born,
to
put my
show
Discord
some
thing
type of
back in the back.
decorum, man. It
Yeah,
is embarrassing.
respectability. That's all it is.
Okay, let's try again, Born. All right, let's try again. We're gonna try and
Please.
talk to Lady D, and we'll go again. Okay.
Sis, Tash, though, do you understand what I was saying to you
One
about
Frank,
the
I'd
actual
rather you
topic?
didn't start again. I'm not gonna. I'm trying my best not to go down that road again. Let's just start
Yeah, okay.
again, and let's try and be
Look, sis, I
respectful
love
towards
you,
one
but
another.
let the boys talk.
Okay, one Frank.
You get what I'm saying? Simple.
I'm
No,
gonna have to laugh it out because if I don't, I'm gonna lose it with you, one Frank. But
yeah, so
for
it's no
form's
reason
No,
to.
sake,
no, don't lose
Hey,
nothing.
hey,
Have some
Born.
control.
I want to hear unpopular.
okay, I'll try and
Web
have
Funk,
some
Web
control.
Funk. Let me hear the brother.
All right,
Let me hear my brother unpopular, man. You've been trying to speak for a minute. Go ahead, brother.
all right, go on,
Yeah,
son.
like I've been sitting quiet, and
Absolutely.
all I wanted to really
Let him
say
talk.
is when it comes to your panels, and everybody that's included in them, I feel like even how you see it on the screen, maybe you should just like have everybody like take a turn, like how they in order on the screen or something, because it's just like I'm man, all this people just blurting out, talking over each other. Just like set up like a single file line or something, and just let everybody speak or something like that, man. Because it's
That's a
just
good idea. Unpopular. That's a good idea.
I agree because it's wild, man. Like that's wild, and I want to have it. I want to have it where we can have 9 people on the panel or 10 people on the panel when we really just letting the conversation flow. But That button in shit, man. That shit sounds crazy when you listen back to it.
But
And then
here's my thing. Here's my thing. When you born when you post a topic, right? People should be able to adhere to that topic and just speak about it. Nothing else.
that's it.
Yeah.
And that's the
Simple.
problem.
And
It
that's how
goes
you
so many
progress.
different ways, but the topic will begin to go so many different ways because people will come on and take the topic somewhere else, man. And that's what we got to stop doing, man.
Hey,
But
Born, I
bro,
want to
you've taken the time
apologize.
out to make the topic and post it. You've done all the hard work, right? You've
Absolutely,
got to be
Ralph.
able to mediate and
Let
say,
me,
listen, I'm taking you out because you're not keeping up to the topic. I'm taking you out.
Could,
yeah,
You just got to
could
do
I
it.
say something?
yeah. Now you're right, well, phone. Go ahead, Robbie.
Hey, Born, first off, I wanted to apologize if in any way I got a little triggered and I said anything to offend anybody or I didn't get a chance to clarify something. But I'm gonna just go on a record of saying, in all of my experiences, even going back to last year, when we've had panels, and even when people have kind of talked over each other, at least they were trying to make a point or finish someone's point, like because they agreed, almost like an amen. The
Uh-huh.
energy that I'm seeing now is there's people who would deliberately say something like a shock jock just to trigger somebody
Mm,
or to
mm.
misinterpret something somebody's saying or make personal attacks. And it kind of reminds me, yeah, of what happened a couple of shows ago. I brought that up. I said, man, why is everything divulging down to personal attacks? Like that's not
So let
Yep,
me so,
necessary.
so
yep,
let me tell you
yep.
something. Let me tell you something, right? Especially the YouTube corner that this kind of derived from, right? It's like the UK sector, right? I hate to use that word, but in a way, like it's the UK. But I know my brothers and sisters from the UK. They come from a speaker's corner. I don't know, a UK
Nah, nah,
side
listen,
type debate. Hold on,
born.
webphone, stop,
People
webphone.
like
You gotta
Schiff,
let me finish.
sometimes you need to
Oh my
nix
gosh, I'm gonna
them
have to
when they
put you
need
in
to
the
be
back. I'm gonna have
nixed.
to put you in the back, web funk. You're just saying put people in the back, and that's gonna be you. So they come from a speaker's corner debate type of platform. And the previous YouTube channels was like a debate, point scoring, blurt out whatever you want to blurt out type of vibe. You feel me? So I'm kind of working to keep some of my brothers from the UK off of that vibe, if that makes sense, Robbie. You see what I'm saying? Like,
You know, it's funny. I'm talking to my girl, and she said, "Man, you must have really got upset." And the metaphor I used for her, I said, "I'm dealing with a brother on the panel that is like a UK Rodney. Rodney is the name of a brother of mine that's from LA, and he's very passionate. And let's say when he's talking, he comes from that same background with debates, right? Where
yeah,
he feels if I raise my voice, if I talk over you, if I troll, in other words, whoever talks the loudest and doesn't get exhausted
yeah,
wins." And so
yeah,
what it becomes is like emotional venting. It's like an emotional menstrual cycle for a man. When we say we're not
And that's
emotional,
what we
and my
don't need.
and what I'm saying is that's what I said about emotional intelligence, and I'm trying to clarify my comment earlier when I said, man, I said we're behaving right now that's supporting how some white supremacists see us like monkeys. And when I said that, people got triggered, and I used to get triggered. And then I had a debate with somebody one
100%.
time, right? Listen, I had a debate with somebody one time, and I was like, well, what do you mean by that? And then it clicked in my brain when they were explaining. They said, look, we feel like we're the evolved primates on earth. We don't believe in no God. We don't believe in no Jesus. We don't believe in no Allah. We believe it's all about instincts and DNA, right? And what they're saying is it's about IQ and intelligence. Well, I said, well, that's not true because I got
Right.
180 IQ. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very smart person. But then I had to
Mm.
listen to something that they said, emotional intelligence. And then I thought about all the brothers in the hood that I know that get in these pointless arguments in barbershops. That's
yeah,
why I said your panel was constructive. And what I noticed, and I try to point out to people to see, when you're so passionate that you talk over other people, but then also you divulge it down to like personal attacks and trolling, it's like at the end of the day, you're doing mental masturbation. You're trying to make yourself feel good and
yes,
you want to debate, but at the end of the day, it's like you're not behaving intelligently. And my whole point that I was trying to point out was that line of thinking, that type of ego, that type of emotion, you can't take into a chemistry class. You can't take into a physics class. You can't take
Nope.
that into an engineering class. You're not going to be a heart surgeon. You're not going to be somebody that's going to use your intelligence along with your passion to bring about innovation. Because my whole point is, I never will doubt the black man's bravery or testosterone for any moment. But if we're honest, and we the same brothers talking about, well, the European is effeminate and all that, I said, well, we got to be honest. Then that makes us look hella weak. If somebody very effeminate use their brain and said, while you shoot arrows or while you throw a spear, I'm going to
Really?
launch 100 at you. That ain't me clowning my people. See, sometimes I have to be honest because I used to let people gas me up like that. Oh yeah, brother, we're stronger. We can do this and that and the third. And then I just had to say, wait a minute. Africa got all these resources. Why don't we have the biggest navy? Why don't we have the biggest
Yeah.
air force?
True.
African
True.
Americans, you know what I'm saying? Why are we talking all this stuff about
And
the
I'm an
Black
African,
Panthers?
brother. I'm an African from
You
the
get what I'm
continent.
saying? So my point is, sometimes we put these like ideals out there and they sound good, but I'm a solution based person or just a logical thinking person. So on either end of the spectrum, it's like if you know you got women on the panel and yet a discussion is for men, but you know from previous arguments you say black women are the source of black men's trauma. See, now you're shifting the argument from trauma because we're trying to talk about
Yeah,
all
yeah,
trauma or
yeah.
just talk about trauma in general. And that's what I'm saying. Just for me personally, that's what I meant. Like that's
But brother,
not being
that
emotionally
doesn't
intelligent.
mean that
I think Robbie, you might have something there. I think you
Yeah,
might have
I,
something.
I, I agree with
yeah,
that,
you
brother.
see, listen, that doesn't mean that if an individual hasn't had some sort of trauma that involved a black woman, he can't speak about it.
Yeah. And I didn't say that.
This is what I'm saying. No. Listen. This is what I'm saying. You had Steve come on. He said what he said, uninterrupted, which was good. Which was good. But I mean, at the end of the day, there needs to be comebacks to that. And like I was saying before with Tash, like Tash, I love you, sis. I love you so much. But I mean, you were jumping in, and this was a conversation that needed to be had with men, first of all, and then we could go into the traumas that I had of different types.
But see, the conversation didn't even talk about trauma. The conversation divulged down to calling him a white supremacist, attacking the statistics, taking the
Yeah,
subject
I
to
don't know
be
about that.
about white
I'm never going to
supremacy,
do
right?
that. I don't, who
Right.
did that?
When I feel, and this is my issue, you're acting like you're the representative of all black men. There's other black men on the channel. Let us all have our go with Steve.
Yeah.
Don't let it
No,
become so ego based.
as
No,
far
not
as a
you. I'm
representative is
talking about. I'm
concerned,
doing
I'm
an
a man.
no, I'm doing an autopsy of the previous panel where I'm pointing out
Yeah,
where
okay.
things went left. Where it's like you got one person with their ego, right, making it about a one-on-one match with this one European. When it's like, bro, we're all here. And to be honest with you, you're not representing us that well because you're speaking from an
No,
emotional standpoint. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
you're being very vindictive. So it's like, can you let other people chime in? And then as soon as other people try to chime in, your ego doesn't allow you to do whatever. And that's what I'm trying to say is that's where we look primitive because they're like, man, we ain't got to worry about you Negroes and your ego. Egos don't equate to nukes. Egos don't equate to Apache helicopters. Egos don't equate to a robust economy and a system. And I'm tired of ego at 44. Maybe when I was 21, I was personality based and I followed ego.
Yeah, but
Farrakhan
brother,
was the best.
at
You
the
know what I mean?
end of the day,
You know what I mean?
it's simple. It's simple. It's about trauma for men. And all I was trying to say is that trauma for men has definitions. Yeah. There's ethnicities, there's backgrounds, there's cultural, religious, all that sort of shit. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, but you know what? We didn't even get to that because all the other bullshit.
We couldn't do it.
Right,
We couldn't do it.
right. We couldn't
We
even
couldn't
get
even.
to that.
We
We
couldn't
couldn't
even
even
do
get
it.
to that.
But guess what? We're able to do it now. Why?
Yeah.
I hate to say it because certain person ain't here. Because I picked it off from Jump Street and said, okay, this is just trolling. I know when
Okay, so
some
let's
people, like
do it.
you say,
Let's do it.
want to have
Let's
trouble
do it.
energy.
All right. Let's get to it. So
What? Oh,
we all have this, right? We all say that we have our different definitions of trauma and all of that. I guess if I would say alcoholism is one way of
Mhm.
dealing with trauma, right? And you got a brother or somebody you really love and care about that's using alcohol to deal with their trauma. what are you telling them? Are you trying to tell them something that's gonna make them replace the alcohol and truly deal with it? Like how do you deal with that?
Brother Rich, what I would say is that that's universal. Alcoholism and all that sort of stuff is universal. There is trauma that is based upon um, culture, religion, just the basic subjugation of men doing this to other men for a reason. Yeah. There's
And that's what
ebbs
I was
and
saying.
flows in history as well. You
And
know?
that's what I was saying. My black woman helped me through my trauma.
Mm.
Because if it wasn't for her, I will be, yo, you know how many times she stopped me? I'm serious. You know how many times she done stopped me for whooping somebody's ass?
It's kind of
Man.
like your mother. It's kind of like your mother, right?
She understands your trauma.
Yeah.
She understood it, and she gave me a solution to
Deal
my
with it.
reaction. You know what I'm saying? Because I could have
Exactly.
reacted a certain way, and she stepped in and said no. But there was times where she had said, you know what, you should have said this, or she'll tell me, go in on this person. You know what I mean? Like, look, this person deserved to
This
have.
is why I got offended by Steve coming in, the white boy coming in and saying, "Hey, listen, this is what we're going through as men, and this, that, and the other." Yo, bruv, listen. Your identification as a man in this Western world is different from ours. We've come
Mm.
through shit. You can say, listen, this guy's vision of trauma is a psychologist is not being part of the trust or the heritage of generational wealth that he's come through because he finally because he found a drug problem, for example. Yeah, and they take him out of the circle. You know that's the kind of shit that he's dealing with.
You
What about
did
us?
type that
What
in
about
the
us?
chat.
What about us?
Hey, but on all
We've come through
fairness, look,
shit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But
in
go ahead,
all
Yabi.
in all fairness, the panel was open to everyone, and this is what I mean by exercising a critical thinking. Look, he knew the boundaries, right? That he
Yeah.
couldn't talk about black trauma, so he was just trying to talk about
He did
trauma in
not
general.
know what the
And
boundaries were. He's
wait,
got no
wait,
experience
no,
of
wait,
those
wait.
boundaries.
You don't
Yeah,
listen to
but
what I'm
the
saying,
topic wasn't. But the topic wasn't only black men's trauma. It
right?
It
That's
was
what
was
I'm trying to
men.
say by
men's
It was
being
trauma.
men
inclusive,
in
Black
exactly.
men.
general.
That's a
So
fact.
that's why he came in
So
there, and I think
that was
sometimes,
my point. I was like, listen, men are different.
yeah, but
You're a
that's what we
white
mean
man.
by
Your
using
trauma
critical.
is different from the
But
African
that,
American, from the
but that's what we.
Caribbean,
And it's a way
from
to
the Indian,
verbalize
the
that.
Arab, all these other people.
But what I'm
It's a way
trying
to
to say is, and
verbalize
that's
that.
something sometimes I think where we're guilty of it to a degree, not saying rightfully so we aren't, but it really hasn't helped us to a degree. We look at all of our problems only as black only, but sometimes to a degree, we can misinterpret people's intentions and automatically shut them off. And what I'm saying is, unless we're in a position of economic and military power, we're always going to talk about our issues. But if we can exercise a little bit more emotional intelligence, because like I admitted, I said a couple of panels before when I first saw Steve got on, I was suspicious of him. But then later
And
on, I
my
listened to
whole
him talk. Hold
bro,
up, hold up, hold up.
listen,
I
bro.
listened to him talk. And I said, wow, maybe he may not have everything spot on, right? But he supports reparations for African
Nah,
Americans.
nah, nah. Listen, bro.
Wait,
Listen, bro.
We're gonna
He
disagree.
can support that as much as he wants. But
you're not
listen,
listening to
he's
what I'm
doing that
saying.
from a certain
No,
position. Hang on, listen. This is what I'm saying. Our trauma is many fitted, right? We come from a position. This guy comes from an establishment, right? Hey, listen, this guy's got a problem. They take him to rehab, they take him to the psychologist, all that sort of shit. What do we do? What do we do? It's about education, it's about sports, it's about entertainment, it's about a gang, it's about this and that and the other. They don't know this shit. They don't know it.
Right.
And
yeah,
if
that's
I
if
have
you
true.
a
jump
big
into
That's true. We do
an
have.
Arab's point of view,
Can I
They're
That's
dox
talking
different,
about
myself a
different
little
listen,
bit?
avenues.
religion, all this sort of shit. No, I mean it's different. It's different.
Right.
I see where you're coming from. We have different
He
avenues.
came in knowing about what trauma for a man is.
That's true.
All he
But
knows is what trauma for what his perception of a man is.
But what I'm saying is,
yeah,
can we have
there's
enough
different
emotional
avenues.
intelligence
There's
to
different
respect his
avenues
opinion?
of dealing with trauma. Because a bunch of brothers can go to a basketball
And
court.
there's so much
They
behind it
and
too.
they know that their brother was going through something, no matter what it is, his girl, his job, or whatever. They'll go shoot some ball, and he'll forget about it, and they'll sit down after ball and talk about it.
It's as
So
simple.
Look,
I
Look.
understand it's
It's
different
as simple
avenues.
as this. The kind. Look, Tash was on this. Um, the kind of women that they have are different from ours. Our women have been through trauma too. So we're dealing with their trauma and ours. For them, it's different.
But
Totally
all
different.
men, but all men in general go through the same shit. If you have
that's
an
what I was trying to
argument
say.
with,
We're still
if
human
you have
beings.
It's not all men.
if you
It's
have
not
an
all
I
men.
think
argument
I
with your
think all the
woman,
brother I think all
if
the
you
brother
have an
web
argument with
funk.
your woman, it don't matter if you're black or white. You had an argument with your woman. If you have trouble at your work, it don't matter if you're black or white. You had trouble
I
at work.
wish it
So
was as simple as
Right.
that.
Now, now,
I
now I
wish
see
it
what you.
was.
I just want to say
Let's
this
let
real quick.
Perry. Let's let brother Perry come through. Shout out to you. Shout out, brother. You know
Yeah.
how we do. Salute.
Salute, Born Rich. Now, I think what the brother Web Funk is saying, and then the other brothers backing them up is you know, some of the traumas we have in common with all men have the same some of the same traumas in common. And then I think with the brother, well, no, Web Funk is not saying that. Web Funk is saying that our traumas might differ from other people's traumas. It's not all universe. It's not just a completely the same. And then what the brother Robbie Rob is saying is, yo, but we do have a lot of traumas that's in common, and that's what the dude would come on the panel and speak on. And as long as he's not cutting nobody off and acting like an idiot, he should be allowed to do that. You know what I mean? And I think Rob is saying things kind of went a little left because brothers felt too strongly about the guy not being able to speak for black traumas. You know,
I would
Yeah.
say this
At
though.
the
I
end
would
of the
say
day,
this, Harlem.
all I'm saying is that Steve can come on these panels as much as he wants, but when he talks about trauma, it's not what we see as trauma as black people. It's not.
right? But
To
what
sum it
Rob is
up,
saying is
yo,
What Rob is saying, despite all that, there's still
And the stats that it
instances
was
where,
giving us.
like, well,
Hold
he could
on,
come
Web.
on.
Hold on, Web.
exactly the
Go ahead. Go
statistics
ahead,
that he
Perry.
was putting
Hold on,
out.
hold on, y'all. Let Perry finish. Let Perry. Perry wasn't finished, guys. Go ahead, Perry.
No, I'm just saying, like, from what I observed from Rob side of the fence, what he was basically saying is there's some traumas that all men go through universally, and the dude was smart enough to just speak on that.
Yeah, universal trauma,
And I think
protectors, all
you
that
guys
stuff,
had a point. You guys had a
all
point
that sort
that
of
he
shit.
wasn't trying to necessarily speak on. His thing was, I'm smart enough to come on here and speak about the universal traumas amongst men, and you
Yes.
guys just kind of built a straw man and jumped on him on some shit like, well, you can't understand the black man's trauma. Like, you know what I'm
basically,
saying? Like, I don't think that was necessary.
No, it won't. But see
basically,
though,
Brother Harlem, respectively, Dave Chappelle put it like this. He said, black people could say, we suffered more. We went through slavery. The Jews would say, well, we went through Egypt. And people like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, how far back you gonna go in terms of suffering? You know what I mean? He said that as in a joking way, but I think that that's how some people interpret it when they try to have conversations, because their whole point is, okay, how much can I prove to you through vetting that I understand every
Nah, nah,
argument
nah.
you're
That's not
making
realistic.
about.
Not realistic.
No, wait, wait,
Don't do
wait,
that.
wait, 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 wait. What I'm saying, I'm just saying, this is what I believe, and maybe I'm making a mistake. I believe we're all intelligent, disciplined, brilliant people, and we have enough self-discipline to just let somebody land and finish their comment. And when they're done, we talk. That's what I was trying to hope to accomplish with having Steve there, because we could have had an even deeper conversation. And I think if you would have been on the panel, Webb, it would have been great because I know you would have come at him from an intellectual standpoint and not just emotionally attacking him. Now, doxing myself a little bit, I'm somebody who has dealt with more than one suicide attempt. And I also have dealt with the mental health system here in America. And let me tell you this is my confounding. And I think a brother touched upon it on another panel. See, the flaw with the American or Western approach to psychology is they leave out sociology. They want to deal with all these theories of the brain and emotions and all of
100%.
that and speak in general, but they leave out the social impact on psychology. In fact, they'll try to say, oh, well, that's just your personality and that's just your perception. So that is why I'll say, just giving you pills and dealing with some counseling and somebody's going to look in a book and try to put you in a category of how to deal with you, it's not effective towards healing our people. But on the flip side, I'm going to tell you what it is, though. And we can't argue with this because we've been subjugated. They do understand basic human psychology, which is why they try to promote and trigger our lower chakra and our low energy. See, they want us to think on a primitive
Well,
level.
I'll stop you there. So what
Go ahead.
about if they come across a Muslim kid, a Muslim African American kid, a Muslim African American kid that's half white, a Muslim American kid that's half Mexican? You can't do that shit. You
Yeah,
can't do
because
it.
you know what he messed up on? Coming in with the census, all the statistics. We weren't even talking about that. We weren't saying how much black men are going through over white men. It was men in general. So when he brought out the census and the statistics, everybody flew off the handle.
All
That
right.
wasn't even the subject and the topic of what we were actually talking
You're
about.
breaking up, brother.
Tell me
You're breaking up.
something. Can y'all agree or disagree with this? Would you agree that to a great degree, the reason they've been able to subjugate and remain in control over us is because they understand psychology, human psychology,
Absolutely.
and they use that. They
Absolutely.
Sorry,
use that
Yeah.
to control.
brother. Can you run that back?
I would, but my wife told me to cut the heat off. So somebody repeat it.
You're
Well, can
right
I say
back
this
though.
real quick? Can I say a little something about psychology on most of these panels?
Oh, you breaking up.
That's me.
No, he was
No,
No,
saying,
that's
go ahead.
you're
Go
solid
ahead,
now.
Barry.
that's
You're
a
solid.
bad connection on your end, Web. That's a bad connection on your end. You gotta go
I got a
on your
bad
settings.
connection.
No, you
No,
gotta go
no,
on
you
your
good,
mic. You
Barry.
gotta go on your mic settings and fix something.
All right,
Yeah,
keep going, son.
you good, Perry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I didn't know that my mic was messed up, but
No, you good, Perry. It's not your mic. Go ahead, bro.
No,
all
go
right,
on,
because
go on.
I want to say as far as like these panels go, a lot of these panels, I feel like I read a book called The Celestine Prophecies, and it goes in on energy and how it's transferred between human beings. And basically, energy is when you feeling positive, you feeling good. Having energy means you feel good, you feel positive. Not having energy means you feel negative. So humans subconsciously, not consciously, but subconsciously go about their everyday life looking for energy. That's not the only thing they do, but that's something that's on their subconscious. Like I need to feel good, and ways that people get energy.
Did you have to read that book for you to realize that?
Yeah, see now you criticizing me for not being
I'm
smart
not.
enough
No,
to
no,
figure that
no.
on my own, and I'm just trying to
Listen,
make a
bro.
point. But see, that's the UK thing that Born Rich was talking about. I realized that,
No,
because that
forget that.
kind of came out of nowhere. That was unnecessary. But
No,
anyway,
just speak to it though, bro. You said you had to read a book for you to get this knowledge. Why?
that's not the point, brother. So I'm not.
No, but
That
why?
that
Why
see,
though? Why though?
that's a sidebar. Like that's not even the point. But the point that I'm making is that people go about wanting to get energy. Now, one of the major ways people get energy is by talking and having other people listen to them. So a lot of times when people come on these panels, a lot of times they're seeking energy, and that's not a bad thing.
But
And remember, it's
bro,
being
listen,
done.
listen. If I took
And
that book
remember, it's being
away
done on
from
a
you,
subconscious
if I
level.
took that book
Mhm.
away from you, where would you be?
I'll be good.
I'll still be good. But you know,
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't have that
I
bit of
think so.
information,
I
but
think
I
you'd
would
be
be
good.
good. That book is not like you acting like I said that book is my end all be all or something like that.
You just
It's
Yeah,
said
just
you
what
a
does
read
it's
that
some
just
mean?
it's
information.
What if
No, but
listen?
you got some
What if you
vision
took
from it.
a
You got some vision.
but what if you took the medical book from a surgeon? So what are you talking about? Even the surgeons have to read books. So what does that mean? Learning
And
is
y'all gonna
from a
make me
book.
to do it again. The people
Yeah,
who
no, but
wrote,
that's
who
technical.
read
That's
books,
technical.
wrote down scribes, are running the world right now. We actually go to
Exactly.
universities. We used to have Timbuktu. Now we just got a bunch of clout chasing niggas. I don't know.
Exactly.
Exactly. Thank you.
I
Thank
But
you.
mean,
see
I
that
was
don't
if you felt like I was being long winded and that's why you needed
No, I
that's
didn't.
why
I
you
didn't.
needed to
Bro, I took a lot from
say
what you said. I
all
didn't think
right,
that.
well, I mean, I understand you like to talk a lot. You like to get a lot of energy. You like for people to listen to you. You're addicted to the energy. And that was my
Yo,
point.
bro, come
The
on, man.
reason
Don't
why a
do
lot
that.
of what makes these panels and these shows valuable is that everybody needs energy. That's why people pay therapists so much money. So they can go in there and the therapist just listen to them.
That's my point.
See, but this is the flip side of it, right? It takes energy to listen to somebody. To sit there and listen
Bro,
to somebody
bro.
talk and be
That's why
long-winded, it
Steve
takes
can come
energy.
on these panels and talk the way he does. Do
Hey
you get
brother,
it?
what's the name of that book, man? Because I want to read it, man.
Yeah, it's called the Celestine Prophecies. It's Jay-Z said it was his favorite book, by the way, just to throw that out there as a side.
The
But
Salafist
Oh shit.
Prophecy. All right, got you.
I just thought
Here
I'd
we
point
go.
that out because I noticed what makes shows and panels and valuable is what the main thing that attracts people is they want to come up here and talk because talking brings
Listen,
energy.
listen, listen. Can I say this?
And some people
Can
like
I
to
say
hear
this?
themselves. Some people like to hear themselves, even if it's dumb shit coming out their mouth.
Well, it's
Hey,
it's a
listen, listen.
subconscious
Can I
thing. You
say
got to
this?
remember that it's subconscious. So people don't really know what they're doing. But
Exactly.
what
Can I
they
say
doing
this?
is arguing and fighting over energy. That's what's really going on.
That's
Exactly.
Harlem,
bullshit.
you did it again. You did it again. Now
Born
you
rich.
pivoted to
Born
something
rich.
even deeper, bro. See, that's why, see, white folks know they Negroes. That's why they'll pick certain Negroes with ego and psychological issues to be influencers, to be celebrities, because they're like, you want to be a star. You want to be seen. Even if you're going to put poison out there, even if you're going to put coonery out there, you have you have a magnetic personality, right? But you talk a lot of babble and misinformation, so they put you out there and they put you as a beacon to push their agendas. And that's what's really deep about it. That's even with political leaders. They'll make sure they find people with a certain psychological profile, right? And put them out there. And that's why there'll be people like us on this panel that'll be the polar opposite or even disagree with a lot of their talking points, ideas, and morals. But they know how to pick the right people that have the right psychological baggage or need for ego to be fed. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Mansa Musa things. And I mean, some people can correct me; they disagree with it in history. But even I think brother John Henry Clark said the main reason why Africa got invaded is because we kept flossing too much. We had so much gold, we kept flossing. We kept throwing other people's economies off. You know what I mean? Sometimes we gotta. That's if we could learn from one thing from the past, I think, is to not reveal so much in terms of what we have and know how to focus our energy a little bit better because we dang sure focus our energy on each other, and that's what is heartbreaking to me right now when I see the manosphere and all this gender division. It's like we're lasering in on each other at a time when they're destroying black families, when they're destroying black people. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I'm gonna be quiet.
Hey, can you put the name of the book in the back chat so I can because I don't know the spelling of that. I don't know how to
Nah, I'm not gonna do all that because I'm not on my computer. I'm actually on my phone, so I
Oh
don't want to
dang,
make a
yeah, you
mistake.
can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that on the
I
phone.
don't want to make a
Dang.
mistake and cut. I could do it, but I don't want to make a mistake. But it's just look up the Celestine prophecies. I think it's spelled Celestine, something like that. Prophecy. The
Okay.
Celestine prophecies. It's one of those books that's very enigmatic. You really wouldn't pay much attention to, nor think about reading. But it's one of those books that it'll catch you by surprise once you start reading it. A lot of the elites are into this book. because it just talks about energy in general and how it's transferred from human to human. And people, it's not just people listening that whether you get energy like that, but what people will do is they'll go about taking energy subconsciously. And there's four major ways that they go about doing that. One of them is by being like passive aggressive. And people would like another way people will get energy from people is by just straight up being aggressive and intimidating. Another way would be an interrogator, someone that's constantly pointing and picking at the points that you might make in a discussion or something like that. They're getting energy from you by interrogating every little thing you do. You know what I mean? And then you have the poor me, the people that play victim at all times. And those are four major ways people go about taking energy. But yeah, man. Basically, what I'm saying in a nutshell is it's like a football game. One team wins, they walk away feeling good. They got all the energy. They won the game. The other team walks away depleted. They don't have any. They lost their energy. So when you
Exactly. You're spot on. That's what trolls do.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. And I don't like that, man. That's why a lot of time, man, I stay in the chat with a lot of without being on the panel. But if I'm really engaged in it, I get on. But when the nonsense start, I'm out, man. Because I don't have time to give my energy to that. Don't. Because after a long back and forth, you feel depleted, even if you won or not. You just feel drained. I don't have
well,
time for
if you won the debate, you're gonna feel good. But you got to get down and dirty, and you might not want to put your money back on the line again. So then you might feel depleted, like, oh, here this nigga go again. He want his energy back. But like
Yep.
at the end of the day, a person that's negative is from that perspective would be a person that's coming into the room with no energy. If you coming on the panel and right off the bat, you just negative, you're thirsty for energy. You're aggressively trying to get energy right off the bat. You're feeling negative, so you don't have any energy. A person that's positive, so there's different ways of getting energy besides the ways that I mentioned. I was just talking about how people get energy like from talking over, in a negative way. But there's ways where people get energy. You might be getting money, so that and you appreciate it, so that gives you a lot of positivity. You might be a ladies' man. A lot of women like you. You might have goals that you've been completing, so you getting positive. So some people come in the game positive, but the ones you got to watch out for is the ones that just seem aggravated and negative, and it's like, oh, this guy ain't got no energy. It's like a broke nigga. Like, oh, this nigga ain't got no money. He looking,
Because you know what it
he
is?
angling.
Exactly.
Hey, spiritually, they're not content and satisfied. Regardless of how much money you make, if you're content and you're satisfied and you have peace, man, you've already beat the game. Somebody could have $5,000 in their pocket and be miserable because every woman they interact with them because of their money. You know what I mean? Every person that's around them is just a user. So when you have a miserable job and you have a miserable existence, you're gonna act miserably with everybody. You know what I mean? And that is not necessarily weighed by how much you have or how much you own. It's how you feel about yourself. And I think to a large degree and to a small degree, every black person has a little bit of insecurity by default on how this system is designed and how they market and promote what is black. It changes every other day, every other week, what they want to promote. Sometimes what is black is First 48. Sometimes what is black is whatever, sitcom they can have or embarrassing celebrity scandal or whatever. And they do that intentionally, like you say, to get energy from us. But I'm not going to lend them my energy. And that's why I say, like, I'm glad you put it this way. I've seen Born Rich's panel as like a way to charge up my battery. So when I'm listening to you, brothers and sisters, even sometimes when my wife could be like, man, cut that off. We need to watch a movie, doing whatever. I can have you guys playing, even if I'm not interacting. Sometimes I got the panel going and I'm not even on. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to start to be hesitant to get on the panel based on who's on the panel. But you know what? Like you say, brother, I don't want to lend my energy to something negative.
Yeah.
So
Hey, that sounds just like my wife. And my wife listens to me saying the same thing sometimes. Like, why are they always arguing? Why they arguing? Why they arguing? I don't want to hear that. Turn it down and let's watch something. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
And having a wife could be a great source of energy as well. But there's a flip side to that. It could be a negative because if you're not in a happy marriage, then you might go everywhere, angry because things ain't working out at home, with the wife. But if you have a good
Exactly.
wife, that could
Exactly.
be a very positive source of energy. And
Mm-hmm.
you going to work just busting it out. Not even
Yeah.
the time just flew by. And it was like all the day's work, baby. And you getting paid and everything is positive and balanced. But the
right.
main thing is, I just want people to be conscious and aware of the fact that, yeah, this is an energy exchange when you get on these panels and all that. That's why people get on here, like you said, to recharge their battery. Either they want to be heard or they want to learn some shit. Sometimes listening might pay off. It's like digging for treasure. You exhausting yourself, but when you hit pay dirt, it's all worth it, but it's a gamble, because I'm not gonna sit up here and listen to a dude just ramble on and on and on and on and be long winded, and then you done stole all my energy, nigga, and I ain't getting nothing out of that.
And you know what that comes from? Experience. That's why I be trying to tell the sisters, like, why feed into it? Why does it matter what one person think? Because if I see you giggling and laughing after you done, like, this is how I see a troll. A troll is literally like how I see China on a global scale with this virus, I'll say, or plague. Say we're all in an elevator and somebody does a church creeper. It's a silent fart, but it smells powerful. And they the first ones to say, ew, who did that? And we all fighting each other or holding our nose, wondering who farted. But when we get off the elevator, that person is cracking up because they know they done stunk up the place. And I think, like, again, when I was younger, just looking for entertainment, vicariously, we could watch stuff like that and find it funny. But we're almost in like serious wartime. Like I say, white supremacists are right on our bumper. We can't pretend like things haven't heated up. I know they've always been there, but if we're honest, things have heated up. That doesn't mean we got to be cowards. That doesn't mean that we have to stop being masculine or aggressive. But I do think it's a time to make sure we recharge, maintain, and keep our what is it, our wits about us and our confidence about us, because in the end, that's what's going to help you sustain. We got to be critical thinkers, because when they pass all this legislation or they do these little trolling tactics, I'm talking about white supremacists, whether it be the police officers or your boss man at your job. We got to outthink these people, because a lot of times we don't have the financial safety nets nor the sense of community to back us up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not here to like stroke somebody's ego. I mean, I'll respect anybody talking on the panel. I think everybody's brilliant, but sometimes you can just tell right off when somebody's being a troll.
Absolutely. Well said, Robbie. Well, family, I gotta shut this show down, guys. I gotta go to bed, man. Shout out to y'all, man. But I gotta go to bed. It's fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. So good shit, y'all. We'll try it again
I
tomorrow.
salute, man. Wow.
Salute,
Thank you,
salute.
Perry. Thank you,
Peace.
Web Funk. Thank you, Robbie, Nito, Unpopular, and Kale, Lady D, Tash, everybody who's joined the panel. Brother Mike, Black Peace, everybody who's joined the panel today. If I forgot you, I'm sorry. But y'all hit that like button on your way out, man. I gotta wrap it up because I got to go to bed tonight. So peace to y'all. Oh, yet. Hit that on the way out, man. Listen, if nobody told you today that they love you, let me be the first one to say that I love you, I love you, I love you. And we out, man. Peace.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.